Welcome everyone to the last session of the Lost Mountain Saga. This is session number 6. And this is the last mystery. This is mystery number 5 in the campaign, the Lost Mountain Saga. So, just by way of a quick recap, we are members of the Society. We gained the site through trauma. We all had individual moments in our life that gave us this site, but it allowed us to see Vaesen, to see these mythologic or supernatural beings or entities that live among us and have for millennia. And those with the sight are able to see and interact with them, whereas those who do not have the sight have no concept other than old wives' tales or old stories of the beings that once dwelt in the woods, and they might shrug it off like, to explain it away by, it was a lack of knowledge at the time, and so they said it was, a giant that must have built that. But we have seen these giants. We know them to be true. And because of this, we were called upon to answer a friend, Franzabald Hansen's request to go to a town and help out with a problem with a local priest. In doing so, we encountered a young woman named Lisa Johansson, and she was young and somewhat forgetful, and often had bouts where she would lose track of where she was, and she would come to her senses far from home, often, in a relatively dangerous place, inside a mine shaft, or deep in the woods, or things like that. And this had happened a few times, and she had very little memory of where she came from. She definitely seems like perhaps she has suffered some trauma as well. Well, towards the end of that mystery, after we put to rest a myling in that town, we found Franzabald and Lisa inside the local mine shaft in this town of Falun, and Lisa had decapitated Franzabald and was holding his severed head and wearing this necklace that we often saw him with, this necklace with a green gemstone. And when we saw her in the mine shaft holding this severed head, she did not look like herself. It was as though she had been possessed or taken over by some sort of spirit or entity, and that green gemstone was aglow while she held his severed head. There was a blinding flash of light, and she disappeared from sight. We were then called upon to attend a meeting in Uppsala by set up through the university, and two people, Sigrid and Carl Magnusson of the Svea Mining Corp, were putting on a presentation about some discoveries they had made in the Abisko mine. And we had heard that the Abisko mine, there had been a disaster there about 10 years prior to this, some sort of explosion, and people had been wounded, and so the mine had been closed. Yet the Magnussons had gone back and thought that they could safely reopen the mine because they had found something, and the something turned out to be these green stones. And they put on a demonstration where a young man was wounded across the chest, and they used these stones to heal him. And then later that man collapsed and was taken to the local asylum. But everyone went nuts, realizing the breakthroughs that this could lead to in science and medicine. And others were saying, this is something that, we need more research. And others, the military said, no, this is a tool for, to safeguard Sweden. And others said, no, this is an industrial tool to put us on the map. And others still said, no, scientific discoveries that we could make here will make us relevant for centuries. And so there was much excitement over these green stones. But we knew there was something more to it because of our experience with Franzabald. The winter set in, and very little was heard of about the Svea Mining Corp, and we were asked by a Norwegian named Olaf to check out a village. This village had no one had heard from this village in quite some time, and some strange occurrences had happened there, and so he had already sent a team up to investigate, and they had not returned. And so he was sending us. It seemed as though he didn't really believe we could be of help. He didn't seem to believe in the things that we have seen, but he was at his wit's end and needed to get someone to do something. We got up there and discovered that the town was basically wrecked. They had had some sort of seasonal offering that had been rejected by the local deity, it would seem. That deity was the Lady of the Cold, this huge giantess who emerged from the sea and froze the land and went around just destroying everyone in her rage. We ended up putting an end to this after a valiant cannon shot by Nigel and Lord Montgomery, which destroyed the Lady of the Cold. But this was not until she had already been wounded by Ilsa and Freya and Dagmar on the grounds of an old Norse church, and she seemed to want to take Dagmar as a sacrifice, but the cannon shot put an end to that, and as her body fell, it exploded in a spray of crystalline shards, and where her heart was this glowing green stone. The next mystery took us deep in the woods near Uppsala. It was the eve of winter into spring, Valborg, and we were sent to witness a ritual of renewal, one of these old mysteries to which we were perhaps being initiated into. And during this, a horse was slain, and there was much drinking and revelry. And when we awoke, we were told that Ira, who was the leader of a religious order, had been taken by someone who called himself the Prince in the woods, and could we go and try to put an end to his misdeeds. She was not the first person to fall prey to his wiles, and they were that others would follow suit. And could we rescue Ira as well, if she could be rescued? So our journey through the woods, we passed an old Viking battle site, found an old rusted sword, and then we were set upon by the spirits of Viking warriors, wielding axes and wooden shields. A terrible fight ensued, and near the end of the fight, a horn call blasted out through the woods, and we saw a woman, a shield maiden, standing proud in the mist, and it looked like Lisa Johansson, just a very full-grown and battle-weary version of Lisa. And she muttered something in Old Norse, which we struggled to understand. She had said this before. She had said this when Franzibald had been slain, and what she had said was something about to reclaim what is ours. The brave shall feast with the gods in Valhalla and Folk Wagner. And then she vanished, and we came upon the hut of an old witch woman named Hedvig, and Hedvig took us in and bound our wounds and attended to us and eased some of our ailments, some that were known and some that were unknown. And in fact, I think Crust, who was Ilsa's cat, had some black matter taken from the cat and spat out upon the ground. Perhaps it was some malignancy that Crust had been hiding or was not even aware of, but that would eventually take a toll on Crust's health. And so she seemed to be aiding us as much as possible. She gave us 2 silver daggers and said that this would help us against the prince. And so to the prince we went, and the prince was a tall and haughty man who invited us to a feast. And at this feast the food became foul, and worst of all was Lord Montgomery didn't have a salad fork. And the wound to his pride was more than he could bear. Eventually he challenged the prince to a duel, and then let Nigel stand in his stead. We began to realize rather quickly throughout the duel that this was no mortal man, and no ordinary man. In fact, the prince was a werewolf, and he had enthralled many people, including Ira, that we had come to seek. And it was only through the combined tactics of silver blades and gunfire that we managed to take down the prince. And then we return from that battle weary and hardened, but having learned a great many lessons that we could hopefully take with us. Now, when we pick up the game now, we are back at the castle. We have returned. We were not far gone. We were just in the hills near Uppsala. But when we return, an invitation is sent to us, and it comes from the Svea Mining Corp. It arrives at the beginning of August, along with some train tickets. And let me post the invitation here. I'll post it for you guys. I'll put it in the chat. There we go. So the invitation reads, "Esteemed Sir/Madam, you are cordially invited to the official opening of the Research Center of the Abisko Mine, hosted by the Svea Mining Corp in conjunction with Uppsala University. Join us for an evening of erudite discourse and intellectual exchange as leading experts in the field of mining and geology share their insights and knowledge. The event shall encompass a stimulating demonstration of our latest discoveries, insightful discussions, and ample opportunities for networking among esteemed professionals and academic luminaries. Your presence at this gathering of intellectual minds shall be greatly cherished. With utmost appreciation and admiration, we remain, yours respectfully, Carl and Sigrid Magnusson, the Svea Mining Corp." The tickets that have been left, probably Nigel would notice as he scans over the tickets. These are third-class tickets. These are not first-class tickets. These are third-class tickets. And that would be an affront. That is... She knows that Lord Montgomery is an English lord, but clearly she is sending some sort of barbed message here. Nigel, as you're probably one of the first to see the invitation, what's your feelings, or what are your thoughts on this?
Nigel, as much as he is a gentleman himself, I don't think he came from like esteemed blood, and I think the language in this letter is just really pissing him off. It's so like annoyingly intellectual that he's just kind of like, ugh, look at these people, as he brings us to Montgomery.
And Montgomery, when you read this, and you see the accompanying train tickets, how do you respond?
Oh, well, clearly they do not care for their guests. This is quite an offense to myself. I currently don't know how to feel about the whole matter.
The rest of you are gathered around, and Freya, you know that if there are other academic luminaries or perhaps professors there, this is a chance to maybe follow up on what their thoughts are about this. Would Freya be eager to go to this evening of erudite discourse and intellectual exchange?
I think if this had happened before the last few adventures we had, she'd probably be more psyched. But I feel like now she's just kind of like tired and like a little weary, and is sort of just like, oh, no, I have to talk to people.
And is this going to be just like the last meeting, the last time that
Right.
Carl and Sigrid got everyone together? Is it going to be a farce? What will you see? Ilsa, as you hear this, you have probably few contacts in the aristocracy, in the intellectual side of the university. That's not really your crowd, but however, you do have a vested interest in the Svea Mining Corp because of what they're doing and what happened to Franzibald. What is your reaction to this?
Well, I have a feeling that if we're being invited, something big is going to happen tonight.
And it probably didn't seem like this was a personal invitation. It is addressed esteemed sir / madam.
Right.
This wasn't to, Lord Montgomery and friends, or to, the wonderful people at the society. It's just, this is a form letter invitation if ever there was one. But is this something that you would be intrigued by, or something you would want to attend?
Well, I'm definitely intrigued by it. Like I said, I think something possibly big or important is going to happen tonight regarding what we've been experiencing in the past few adventures with the stones and everything.
Yeah, you have since discovered a few things since that meeting. In fact, do you recall what you discovered to be perhaps the source of those stones? I alluded to it in my overview of where the campaign has gone.
Well, I remember it was the heart of the giant that we encountered.
So, are these like pieces of Vaesen? Are these the hearts of deceased Vaesen? You probably want to know that. And how are they getting these? That may be something of great interest to you. It seems as though Franzibald came across one, and he was searching for more and more. Yet it seems as though Karl and Sigrid have ample, enough to put on experiments and do research and things like that. And this probably does not sit well with you. But you can come to that conclusion on your own if you choose, or however you feel. Dagmar, what's your take on all this?
Well, Dagmar's been outside visiting Eric and playing with Blix, and she and he come in with their usual whirlwind of energy arriving in the room. But it's a little bit sad because she's still acting with a lot of enthusiasm, but she's got a little hitch in her gait now because her knee's not right. She's puffing a little bit because her throat doesn't work very well for her breathing now, and she's and when she comes to get a cake off the table, she's a little bit shaky. But she's just like, hey, you should go see the garden. And what's this? Let me see. Oh, I don't know if that looks very good. It doesn't look like there's going to be any dancing. No dancing. So
last time you made a bit of a scene with your dancing.
We really did. I don't think it'll be another chance to wear my dress. And she just looks all around at all the others.
However, there is a chance to ride a train, and perhaps you don't mind third-class tickets.
That would be better than hanging on to the back.
Right? Well, you can all take an advantage before you use those tickets and go to this. So we can take a moment to do some preparations. What preparations do you do here at the castle? What advantage do you take? We can start with Nigel. Do you know what advantage you want to take, and how do you go about doing that? And is there any research or any activities you want to undertake before the journey to the Abyssgo mine?
Yeah, Nigel's not one who's too much for research. Maybe, give himself some time to help others research. But as for his advantage, probably ranged combat. Just keep doing some range time. It worked out pretty well last time.
Been useful for you. So you spend a little more time at the range, sighting in your weapon. Do you reload your own ammunition, or do you purchase it? Is this an opportunity for you to maybe tinker with the powder measurements in your cartridges? How do you see him getting his ammunition?
Ooh, I could totally see Nigel being the kind of guy who likes, building his own gun and customizing stuff. But I'm sure Montgomery's generous enough to help pay for his ammunition, as it's usually to aid him in some means.
Absolutely.
Yes, you never know when there'll be another chance to defend my honor, Nigel.
Precisely.
In fact, did you do anything for Nigel for his act of heroism and service?
Well, certainly. While he was healing his eye, I let him relax the services for a week.
Only turned down the bed twice in a day, not 3 times. How about Montgomery? What advantage do you want to take?
Well, very first, I need to send a telegram to the owner of this railroad.
Ooh.
Perhaps I am familiar with him, and I would like to request better passage on board his locomotive.
Now, don't you have a talent? Yeah, contacts right there. So you know the probably the head of the railroad board, and give me a manipulation roll in order to make that phone call and get your tickets upgraded. Excellent. So the call is very brief. You catch up for a moment. How do you know this person? What is the nature of your relationship with the head of the railroad board? Probably some railroad tycoon here in Sweden.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, it was friends of or his family is friends of my father, and we are acquaintances, of course, and I figure it's about time that we were reacquainted, as I am in need of his service right now.
So do you pay a visit or just the phone call?
I would likely pay a visit. I prefer to do things in person.
So you probably spend, and you've got a few days until this journey is underway. So you go down and meet and over cigars and port, you talk about past glories and old victories, and then how do you broach the subject of this? How do you tell him you have third class tickets?
Oh, no, never would I ever tell him that I had third-class tickets. I would simply ask that myself and my companions be given the finest accommodations on his railroad to our specific destination.
Well, he arranges for a private car to be added to that rail passage for the day that you need to head out. So he arranges for a private car where you will not be disturbed. In fact, you will have a private butler in the car to attend to your every need.
Well, this shall prove most sufficient. Thank you, sir.
Now, do you let Nigel relax, or do you still let him buttle you as he is wont to do?
Well, Nigel can, of course, relax, use this opportunity to prepare for any dangers that most certainly lie ahead.
And your shoes don't shine themselves, so you'll keep him busy on the journey, I'm sure. What skill did you take for your advantage?
I will take manipulation.
Excellent. Let's go to Freya. What any specific bits of research or investigation you want to do before you leave, and otherwise, what advantage do you take?
So I think Freya probably doesn't know too much about like mining and geology, so I think she'll read up on it and like try to get some like cursory knowledge, enough to basically know if like someone is like bullshitting basically.
Yeah. Give me a learning roll.
Excellent. I'm gonna use the bookworm skill.
Perfect.
Oh my god,
Oh,
really?
Man. Do you want to push it?
Really? Already. Yeah, why not? Let's see. Come on,
There we
friends.
go.
Woo!
There we go. Excellent. So the mine, you read about the old incident from 10 years ago. It seems like that's what most of the information is about. And there was a large crater left behind by some strange explosion, and many workers were killed during this mining accident. And the official records are scant. Seems as though perhaps they've been shrouded in secrecy, and there are no reports of survivors. And the public was left to draw its own conclusions about what happened. But there were rumors of incompetence, corruption, and unchecked greed, which you would find with any sort of tragedy. It seems like that's where people, it was, the higher-ups. They just forced them to dig harder and faster and deeper. However, the area what's interesting is the area of the mine. There's a surrounding national park, and it's a very desolate area, and it's part of Sapmi. And Sapmi is the cultural region that belongs to the Sami people who lived and used the land there for thousands of years. So this mine is on this, basically like a reservation, a nature reserve and sacred land to this old people. But industry being what it is, they rip the ground open and take what they can get. And the Sami people, they have been heavily oppressed by the Swedish government, and the Abisko mine was reopened without their consent. You also learn that that close to the mine, to where it's located, is a geologic feature called the Laponian Gate. And it's a U-shaped valley in the middle of the mountain range. It looks like an enormous gate, thus its name. In fact, the picture that we have on here, we see this huge U-shaped valley, which are often the result of glaciers passing through. They leave a big gouge that's shaped like a U, versus a river that would cut a V-shaped notch into rock. So perhaps the retreat of an ancient glacier left this Laponian gate. At least people call it a gate because it looks like, maybe this was the doorway for giants to enter into the world or some such. But it looks like a glacier once dug through here at some point. And what advantage did you want to take?
I'll take observation.
Excellent. Ilsa, how about yourself?
Well, I think I maybe would have asked Freya to show me or teach me some skills with knives, maybe some...
Not with the axe?
Oh, no, not with the axe. I think maybe some techniques or some good forms to take.
Nice. And so is that close combat?
Yeah.
Excellent. And any research or other preparations you want to undertake?
I would actually like to do a seance, but I think we could get to that after everyone takes their advantage. Perfect. Dagmar, how about yourself?
Dagmar really likes Michaela, who came back to the castle with us.
Yep.
So she's spending quite a lot of time with her.
What is she in the castle? She has a job.
She's in the infirmary, so she's doing healing for us. So, having been wounded quite a few times, Dagmar's really taking the wounded healer thing very very keenly. And so I would like to take a +2 to medicine because she's been learning from Michaela.
Excellent.
Yes.
You have pretty much just moved your quarters into the medical wing of the castle. You spend so much time there that you might as well just start living there. But it has a beautiful window that overlooks the garden, and so you get the best of both worlds. Plus, it's far enough away you don't have to hear Lord Montgomery snoring late at night. Or Nigel making soothing ocean sounds in his room to help him sleep as Nigel mimes and mimics the crashing of waves and the cawing of seabirds. So, in the days before sound machines. Excellent. It's very early on a beautiful summer day when you board the newly built luxurious train that will take you north and to the newly reopened Abisko mine. The Svea Mining Corp, which is just swimming in gold from investors at this point, has specifically constructed this line for a fast transfer between Uppsala and the mine. And the person who benefited from this was that railroad tycoon, and so he's swimming in cash as well. However, the northern part is not fully finished yet, and you'll have to spend the night in the small town of Kiruna before continuing the journey by stagecoach the next day. And after several days of travel, it's late when you arrive at the train station of Kiruna. And unlike in the winter months where the sun never rises, now the sun never sets. So people are still out eating and drinking despite the lateness of the hour. And the stagecoach that waits for you takes you to an inn just a bit outside of the city, and while the sun is still up, it suddenly feels a lot less festive and bright. The temperature cools, and mist starts to rise from the ground, and everything is completely still and quiet, as though nature knows that night is approaching, even if the sun seems to be unaware of it. Now, shortly after arriving, Ilsa, you get an eerie sensation that you're being observed by something in the dark forest just behind the inn. There's a presence there, and it's a malicious presence. You've felt this before, but you cannot identify it. But there is something out there. It almost feels like perhaps it's hunting you and the rest of your group. And you don't know if this has followed you from Uppsala or from elsewhere in your adventures, but you feel that presence just outside the inn.
And this is the first time I've felt the presence?
No, you felt this before. In
Okay.
fact, if you want to give me a vigilance roll.
Nice.
You think back about when you have perhaps felt this, and two moments come to mind. You have a vision almost of a darkened wood and old stones that have carvings upon them, many worn with the passage of time and weathering, and the sounds of horses clopping their hooves and the clash of metal against metal and axe hafts against shield, and a horn sounds in the background. And then you get a smell that comes to you. It's a smell of moldy, musty earth, of dark spaces, the ends of worms, and those things that dwell deep in the earth. And this sight and this sound, and now that this taste arrives of burning and foulness to your mouth, and you feel almost overwhelmed by these sensations. And you have experienced all of these things over the course of the last year separately, but now it seems as though you're getting them all at once. What do you do?
I think I have a talent that could maybe help me.
Oh, excellent. So if you want to make an investigation roll as you start going over, like, when did I smell this? When did I taste this? When did I hear this? Yeah, give me an investigation roll. So you'll need at least 2 successes. Oh, and you got 2. Okay. So you can learn if a Vaesen has been in the area, gain more or less vague impressions of what kind of Vaesen, and find out if magic has been used. So this vision, this feeling is definitely related to a Vaesen, and it is a Vaesen associated with death. And there is definitely magic being used. And you feel as though some sort of enchantment is being leveraged against you. And why you do not know.
Against me specifically,
it could be against everyone, but you feel as though it's targeting you specifically.
Okay.
You look out. The woods are dark. The sun is still up, but it's dim outside. You wouldn't need a light, a lantern, or anything if you wanted to go out and walk in the woods. You'd be able to see well enough, but it is dim enough that you couldn't see far. Do you want to go and investigate this?
Oh, I think I would go over to the area where I felt I was being watched.
Do you let anyone else know, or do you go by yourself?
No, I'm not going by myself. I would take people with me.
Just you and Crust, or who do you take with you?
I'll invite everyone, because I feel that this is potentially dangerous.
Would everyone be willing to go, or does anyone wish to stay?
Freya will go.
Dagmar, do you go or do you stay in the inn?
No, Dagmar will definitely go.
And Montgomery, how about you and Nigel? Will the two of you go as well?
Well, certainly. Nigel, if you would, prepare my walking shoes.
Yes, they have to be heated. Yes.
In fact, do you rub like lanolin in there or something to soften the skin of his feet and all these little acts of tenderness that you undertake for him? Deep down, what does Nigel think of all this? Is this truly something that Nigel enjoys, or is this, it's been a long journey and you're tired and now he wants you to go get his walking slippers? Like, how does Nigel feel about this?
In a ways, it has definitely almost bordered on the extreme. Nigel's definitely remembering skating across the ice many times. But equally, like, when it came down to it, they made a final stand, Like,
Yep.
I think these are two people who know each other, and Nigel's more than happy with his position.
And he has brought you possibly even joy at doing a task to which you are well trained and well suited, and he's not a horrible boss. He doesn't infringe upon your rights as a human, and he's I'm sure he's very generous with money. He's just a little bit aloof, I think, and so you humor him at times with these things. And I think the nature of your relationship probably did change there in that Norwegian village as you both lay bloodied and dying, broken on the ground after the Lady of the Cold smashed the ice at your feet. And rather than give you up or tell you to fetch me a litter and drag me to safety, no, the two of you actually worked together. And so I think something happened there that maybe changed your relationship. As you prepare his walking shoes and perhaps his walking stick and pack his pipe with his favorite, walking tobacco, whatever it might be, and of course his little flask is full, you head outside. Now, Ilsa, you've been waiting for the others because you have this feeling like I want to go see what it is, and it takes a good 10 minutes for Montgomery to get prepared. Are you impatient at all?
While I'm definitely eager to see, what this feeling is, and what's watching us, I think I am familiar with all of Montgomery's needs by now, and the fact that he does need a lot of time to prepare himself for such things.
But he did get you a private car on the train, which
That
was
is
pretty
true.
spectacular.
Yes.
So, there's pros and cons to all of this. Well, the five of you begin to tread through the woods, and I'm assuming you have Crust and Blix with you, and they are both on edge. In fact, Crust has this kind of low warning growl. You can feel the vibration in Crust's chest, and Blix is often at attention, eyes wide, ears perked up, sniffing the air frantically as though trying to identify or find the source of this strange smell that he can detect. You walk for about 15 minutes through the woods until you are outside of of hearing and sight of the town, and it's probably close to midnight as you're out here, but there's still enough light you can see the game trails and the paths in front of you, and as you do step through some of the brush, there is the light cracking of old dried twigs and leaves, and the rustling of fresh green grasses against your legs. And then you see a girl, and she's wearing a dirty white nightgown and has long black hair. It's Lisa. However, unlike the young petite woman that you once met, she now stands taller, perhaps more regal, and there's an elegance to her dirty clothes. When you first saw her in the inn in Falun, she didn't have her shoes on. Was wearing, the attire of a scullery maid. Now this is a fine white garment. However, it has mud caked in areas, and it looks tattered in some places. Her eyes are completely black, and her mouth has changed its shape. It's somehow wider, elongated. "Help me," she whispers, her voice raspy and foreign, as if the words are physically hard for her enlarged mouth to say. And she reaches a hand out towards you, Ilsa. "Help me."
What happened to you?
Water, please. A drink.
I think someone would probably have like a canteen or something.
Yeah, absolutely. As you give her water, as she tries to drink, the water spills out of the sides of her mouth that seems too large for her face. And as she begins to get that water in her face begins to relax, and you see it looks as though her mouth is beginning to return to its normal form, and her eyes, which were black, begin to return to their natural brown color, although they are still filled with grief and pain. "After what happened with your friend," her voice cracks up from fatigue and sadness, I realized I could not contain it anymore, this monster inside of me. It's longing for something. And for a brief moment, a grimace crosses her face and her eyes flash black, and that mouth, that smile grows wide like a Cheshire cat. And then the teeth tremble a moment as she puts her hand up to her face, and when she removes her hand, she has the delicate features of a young woman again. The stone helped me. I could control this monster inside me with it, but eventually that stone weakened. Whatever it is inside of me, it seems to be somehow bound to this. And from a pocket she produces that necklace and the gemstone that once belonged to Franzibald, its green color now dull and faded. We both seem bound by it, myself and this thing inside me. When your friend was carrying it, I was blinded. I could not stop it. And then you see her rear her head back as though ravaged by pain, and then in a commanding voice, deep and echoey throughout this forest glade, she says, "The Vanadisir must be stopped." And she shudders a moment and she blinks. "I need your help. The mine in the north. I must go there to fulfill my task, whatever it is. When the time is right, I will finally put this to an end. Will you help me?"
Well, what would you have us do?
I don't know, but I suspect that I will know once I'm there. There is something drawing me to that mine. It's drawing you as well, else you would not have answered the summons. Your summons and my summon, they are very different, but very much alike. Now, I must go. I can't hold her at bay. And she lets out a little cry, and she begins to sprint deeper into the woods as though trying to distance herself from you as quickly as possible. Do you pursue?
I'll look to my companions to see what everyone would like to do.
Dagmar's got Blix in her arms and she's holding his mouth shut because otherwise he'd be running after her, barking excitedly. And she looks at the others and says, "We can't take her on the coach. I don't think that would work."
There's no way.
No.
Do you just let her go and run off? She is unfit for society, it would seem. To bring her into the town could be catastrophic. But to leave her out in the woods could be considered cruel. What do you do? Ilsa, you seem to be lured out here. What's your decision?
Well, I think it would be best to just let her go and return to town.
As you head back to your lodging at the inn, you can't help but feel as though whatever it is that has afflicted Lisa, you only hope that it does not afflict you and your friends as well. You've never heard of a Vaesen sharing the body and mind of another individual, but that seems to be what's happening here. In one moment she is Lisa Johansson, in another she is something else. You recall seeing her after fighting those ancestral Viking warriors, that a shield maiden appeared. It looked to be Lisa, and you couldn't help but notice the similarities in her voice when she said that the Vanadisir must be stopped. And whatever it is that is conflicted inside her has something to do with that shield maiden.
Dagmar would say to Ilsa, Do you think the Vaesen that she carries will have the same goals as us when we go there? To the mine?
Well, I think the Vaesen in her would want to protect itself and others of its kind, other Vaesen.
Now, you mentioned wanting to do a seance earlier. Do you want to do that seance now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Out here in the woods, or back at the inn?
Ooh, I think maybe back at the inn.
Okay. You've got is it a seance talent? Is that what you've got?
Yes. I can pull that up.
Yeah, go ahead and pull that up. Let's take a look. There we are. Use observation to perform a seance where you predict people's futures and contact the dead. Extra successes give you more information. What are you asking? What is your intent with this seance?
Well, I would like to know more about this thing that is I don't know, possibly controlling Lisa, or what it has to do with her and the mining corporation.
Give me that observation roll. Ooh, do you push it?
Yeah, I'll push it.
Excellent. Go ahead and take that condition. As you begin to call upon your spiritual guides and those that answer your call in the spiritual realm, you are treated to yet another vision. And I'm going to go ahead and read this out to you. This is the vision that you see. She couldn't remember the last time she had been this happy. The young brown-haired woman dances amongst the newly sprung forest flowers, surrounded by the women she loves more than life itself. The ancient spirits join them, connecting them to the powerful voices of the past. It all makes sense to her now. She belongs here. A soft, gentle hand draws her attention. Gray, beautiful eyes peer into hers. An unvoiced question plays on the luscious lips. Yes, the young brown-haired woman finds herself saying, or perhaps she's just thinking it as she lets herself be led by gray eyes into the dark forest. They worship each other with fervor. The brown-haired woman gives in. A lifetime passes. More? Gray Eyes asks. They laugh. They kiss. They love one another. But then, everything's wrong. Gray Eyes watches in horror as her lover is suddenly whisked into the air. Her body starts contorting in impossible ways. The sound of bones cracking and whimpers of painful anguish from the young brown-haired woman break the silence of the forest. She eventually collapses to the ground. Gray Eyes is there, desperately trying to make the limp body of her lover come back to life, come back to the paradise the two of them shared just moments earlier. Then the sound of battle fills the air. Shadows of men in armor surround the two women, fighting each other with ancient swords and shields. Gray Eyes cradles the brown-haired woman, pleading to the gods for this nightmare to be over. A glimmer of hope ignites within her as the body in her arms suddenly stirs. "Lisa," Gray Eyes whispers, relief flooding through her entire being. But it's not Lisa. Gray Eyes only briefly meets the cold, brutal stare of the soul that now possesses her lover before it snaps her neck. "You will all die," the young brown-haired woman whispers in a foreign voice as a blinding green light fills the entire forest. And then your vision ends. If this were a true event or memory, it would seem that Lisa, at the height of love and joy, something took over her. Perhaps this shield maiden from an age long gone. Why, you do not know, but you suspect that this shield maiden is using Lisa for some purpose. And a chillness fills the air as the seance comes to a close, and you feel as though dozens of souls are watching you with great interest and intent, as though what you are about to undertake at the Abysko mine could prove to be the difference for those living and for those that have passed on. We're going to go ahead and jump forward to the next scene. The next day, the stagecoach arrives at Abysko and the mine, and you arrive early in the morning. And I have a map. Let's grab the map. Let's see. Here we go. We'll go to this one first. So this is basically just a view of the area of the Laponian Gate. Here is the Laponian Gate up here in the mountains, that big U-shaped valley, and then here is the Abysko mine, not far off from that, at the conjunction of several rivers that flow down to the sea, and the town of Abysko is just over here. So when you arrive at the this area. You know that this was, until recently, this whole area was mostly Arctic barren grassland, and the village was more like a camp for miners and workers. However, everything has changed. When the Svea Mining Corp took over, this once beautiful national park, framed by mountains and the Laponian Gate, is now industrialized. So we're going to go to a map of the Abisko mine area. And so now you can see there are countless factory areas and other buildings strewn here and there, yet more buildings. Here's the old crater where the explosion happened, and then a new mine that has been opened up. And the once beautiful park is now industrialized. Sounds of heavy machinery and smoke from coal plants fill the air, while hundreds of workers carry heavy equipment from place to place. There's a yellowish tint over the entire area as smog covers the sun. A massive brick building that resembles a fort stands in the center, the research center. Guards in uniforms are everywhere, looking suspiciously at every worker that passes them by. Here is the research center over here. In fact, let me just trace that. So this is the research center right there. Guards everywhere in uniforms. They look suspiciously at every worker that passes them by. The stagecoach takes you all the way to the center of, or all the way to the entrance of the center. And it's a most unwelcoming sight with dystopian aesthetic. It's built for pragmatic reasons and to signal strength. The emblem of the University of Uppsala and its motto hangs over the entrance: Gratiae Veritas Naturae, truth through the grace of nature. A stern old man greets you. From the castle, eh? He says, and he leads you into the building. He introduces himself as Benson, but beyond introductions, he has very little to share. It's very dark and it's murky inside the building. There's several flights of stairs that you climb to reach the rooftop, and from there you can see the entire town, the crater from the explosion a decade ago, and the new mine entrance, and behind it an open area with some sort of metal cylinder in the middle. There's this fenced off area. There's some sort of, is it a small silo or something? You're not sure. Perhaps there's grain or coal or something stored there. Behind it all, there's the beautiful Laponian Gate as well. She's nice, isn't she? Benson says, looking at the mountain formation. The new people in town have come to refer to her as the Lost Mountain because of what happened 10 years ago. As if the mountain can be lost. They don't know that formation has been there for millions of years. Lots of idiots around here, if you ask me. Nobody ever does. Anyway.
But we didn't ask you either.
Whoa. No, I give you the 10-cent tour here. You want the more expensive tour? I keep my mouth shut.
Just joshing you.
Of course. Now, there be a few places you're welcome to go here, but only go with someone in attendance. You have to be chaperoned everywhere here for your own safety. You're welcome to check out the mine. You're welcome to go and into the research center. There's much here to be had. Mind you that there will be a tour later, and then the great meeting will come in the banquet hall. That'll be in the research center. That'll be tonight at 7 p.m. And be sure that you're in attendance. We've gone to great lengths to bring you here. But your time is yours.
They go to great lengths to bring us here, do you know?
What great lengths? Why
Why do they care about us coming?
I don't know, but the lady, Sigrid, she were insistent. She said when you all came here, I was supposed to attend to you and treat you kindly, as if I need to be told as such. And then he kind of snorts up and spits on the ground and kind of kicks it away with his foot. Kindness. I'm full of kindness, you see. Now we've rooms for you here if you wish to stay, or you can just wander around as is your pleasure.
We want our rooms first.
Of course. The tour guide, Linus, he'll be here ere too long. And Benson takes you to your rooms, and they're very Spartan. It's almost like if you thought the third-class tickets were a slight to Lord Montgomery Station, this is even worse. They're basically just cement rooms with a very simple, small bed, worn blankets. It's like they went to great lengths to make this very Spartan for you.
Look, beds.
Yeah, Dagmar's probably thrilled. She's any bed is a good bed. Now, shortly after you make it to your room, the tour guide knocks on your door and introduces himself as Linus. And he says, you have two options if you wish to visit the mine. There's the 1 p.m. tour or the 2 p.m. tour. And he pulls out his pocket watch. You should take me up on my offer, because the dinner later tonight at 7, you don't want to miss that. So if you want to do the tour, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. And it's probably about 10 o'clock now. You've got a few hours before the tour, if there's anything that you want to do.
Might as well do the 1 o'clock tour and go early.
Should we go to the mine?
Do we want to do any looking around anywhere else before we go to the mine?
Yeah.
Maybe we could... We weren't allowed to go on our own anywhere, really, were we?
No, you can try to sneak out.
Not yet. I don't think we know enough yet to know where we'd want to sneak.
Right. There's just like this factory area.
Yeah, you could ask to go see the factory area. I'm sure they would take you there. Or if you want to go look at the old crater or anything like that, you're more than welcome to.
Well, could we do a little bit of that then? Get toured around so that when we go to the mine, we've already got a bit more footing about where everything else is and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you wander around, you can see that the old crater, there's not much being done there. In fact, for the most part, it's fenced off, but it's quite deep. It goes down hundreds of feet. Whatever was at the bottom when the explosion happened, everything that blew up in the air came down into the crater, and so whatever is under all of that rubble and earth, you have no idea. But it looks like whatever it was very, very deep. And there's a few people milling about, mostly guards, and they give you some suspicious looks as they see you looking at the crater, but you're not drawing any attention to yourselves, and so other than just keeping an eye on you, perhaps for your own safety, they leave you alone. The factory area, you are not allowed into the factory area, but as you go by, you can hear heavy machinery, steam-powered engines, hard at work in there, doing something. What it is, you don't know. And black coal smoke belches out of there, probably smelting or refining. You're not sure. As you continue around the old crater, you do see in a fenced off restricted area, this is up here, that weird metal cylinder. This cylinder it's vertical, it's on the rocky ground, and it is kind of close to railroad tracks, and it looks strange. It doesn't look like a grain silo up close, or it doesn't look like a place you would store coal. It's only about maybe 2 meters tall and maybe 1 meter in diameter. It's fairly small. A person could go in there if maybe it were like a steam room or something, but it's just a metal cylinder. However, Lord Montgomery, give me a learning roll.
Certainly. Ah, yes.
You've spent time in the military, and this looks to be some sort of explosive device. Perhaps this is, you might pack this full of TNT or gunpowder, and perhaps it's used in mining to blow open new areas that you could go and explore.
Well, we best be careful around that there. Could be potentially dangerous.
And a few guards, as they see you looking at that, these ones aren't just watching for your safety. They come up quickly and say, here now, this is a restricted area. Please move on.
Is it restricted?
For your own safety, there's going to be a demonstration later, and well, you don't want to be too close to this thing. Old Gustav here, he's going to put on quite a show.
Gustav?
Yeah, that's what we've taken to calling it, is Gustav.
Oh.
The person was going to put on a show with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so with the talk that we're going, because we're going to the talk later.
Yeah.
So
during the
that's
talk,
when
you're gonna. Oh, you'll be surprised.
Oh.
And then
Dangerously surprised.
Oh, if you're standing where you are now, for sure. And Dagmar, give me a vigilance roll. Okay. Do you push that?
I think I will. Because she doesn't know there's something she should be being vigilant about. It's like, oh, right, we'll find out about it at the talk.
Anything else anyone wants to do here? The guards don't want to let you get too close to this.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it with relevance to like the green stones and what we saw them demonstrate last time, and I think Dagmar's coming up with zero ideas of how those things are going to connect, or thinking about Lisa and so on. This seems more like a mining type thing, so why would they bring us all the way here for that? I say those things to the others.
What do the rest of you think?
I think Freya... I don't know. I mean, I feel like since we can't really free roam, she feels a little restricted. And she probably will just suggest, like, heading up to the mine now.
Yeah,
Hate this place, Freya.
Everything seems to connect to the mine, so I think we need to get there as soon as possible.
As you begin to approach the mine, you can hear someone shouting, wait, I'm coming. And you look back and it's Linus. Excuse me. You never know when a sneeze is going to hit. It looks like it's Linus, and he says, "Oh, you're early. There's no tour now, but I can do it. And he rushes up and says, "I won't tolerate anything ill said of this mine. This is my girl, and oh, you're gonna love it. You're absolutely gonna love it. And if you don't love it, well, don't tell me. I don't want to hear it." Now,
Dagmar was just about to open her mouth and say, "I hate this place." So she shuts it again with like a snap.
Nice. And he probably stops and looks at you and gives you a little squint, like, is she gonna be trouble?
I do an adorable smile.
Oh, his heart just melts.
And shrug.
With your Shirley Temple looks, he's just like, oh, fine. The remnants of the explosion of the first mine is still very present, and due to the cold climate here, it takes a while for vegetation to grow back. And so it's kind of a big, ugly scar at the old crater. However, the new crater, there are several round hills where the the new mine is located. And at the entrance, there's a walking path and as well as a rail line for hand carts that lead in and out of the mine, out of the dark depths. There's several men and women walking in and out of the mine. The area is basically just buzzing with activity. There's also several soldiers guarding various entrances, and no one is smiling, except for Linus, who excitedly takes you into the mine. Now, once you're in the mine, Linus is showing you the different areas of stonework, and he's speaking of, this igneous rock and this metamorphic stone and these sediments here, and he's pointing at different areas, and whether or not he's actually correct, you have no idea. Although, Freya, you might. Give me a learning roll.
All right. We studied. We studied for this. Not well enough.
Do you want to push that?
Yeah. Oh my god. Wonderful.
So it doesn't sound 100% correct, but you don't speak up because you're not certain, and maybe you don't want to speak up and be wrong and be made to look foolish. However, you suspect that much of the information he's telling you, this is company propaganda. He's just parroting what he's been told to say. And you think if you had some hard science questions, he may wither under those, unprepared to answer difficult questions. One thing that you do notice, as you're looking at these stones, Freya, there's patterns on the walls of the mine. And you've seen veins of minerals and ore in mines before, or at least pictures or drawings of it, and they're very haphazard, but there's order to these, and you see larger veins coming down and then smaller ones branching off and even smaller ones branching off, it almost like a tree, inverted, or tree roots or something. It looks very weird. It does not look like mineral growth. Give me a medicine roll.
Ooh.
Do you want to push that?
Oh man. Well, yeah, I feel like this could be valuable information for the group, so.
Okay.
Woo!
Got it.
We are going to be exhausted.
This reminds you of something. This looks like the circulatory system of a living thing, like arterioles and arteries, veins and venules and capillaries. It's laid out like the blood vessels of some living creature, frozen in rock. Now, as you go through the mine, Linus is more than excited to show you a few things, and you see a few passageways that are blocked off. And he says, "Oh, we can't go down there. That's the new wing, and it's not safe. It's not safe for you. Come, let us look here." And he takes you to. It's basically like the Disney version of the mine. A few small areas that you're out of the way, and no one's going to trouble you, and there's nothing to touch, and no one's going to get hurt. And it's almost like they're just doing enough to satisfy curiosity, as though if you brought an investor here in the mine, they don't want to get down and see, the minerals. They just want to see, this is actually a mine. Yeah, I'll pour money into it. Sure, they want to get the rubes in the tent, kind of thing. Like there's something going on here that you're not being treated like a scholarly individual, or you're not being trusted to find out exactly what's going on. But the tour is very unsatisfactory. But this idea of a circulatory pathway is chilling to you. You've never seen this in the earth. And when you leave the mine, Linus takes you out to look at the landscape, and you climb one of the hills. And as you do this, Nigel, give me a vigilance roll. Oh, nice. As you're looking at the hills, did Freya, did you share with anyone your finding on those veins of rock and the patterns on the wall?
Yeah, I feel like she would have found time to kind of like pull people aside during the tour, like when Linus is the guide, right?
Yep.
Like when Linus was like just like droning on about rocks and not paying attention. I think she found ways to tell everybody.
Well, Nigel, thinking about this, as you're up on this hill, you're looking out at the expanse of the mine, at the earth that overlays the mine, and something strikes you that the hills out here, it looks like a torso, and in fact from our overhead view you can see arms and a leg and even a head. It looks like an enormous humanoid body lying on its side. And Linus says, I can't believe I never thought of that myself. And he looks rather smug, as though he can't wait to go and share this new finding with someone. And this is where we're going to take our break.
Ooh.
Let's take an 8-minute break right here, and when we get back, we will finish the campaign. I will see you all in 8 minutes.
The deeper I wonder. potion. I charged through the open gate. The flame of the dragon tried to seal my awful fate. With a handful of dice, 5 times I rolled 20. The dragon goes down. The DM no bloody. I leave with the princess. A satchel chock full of gold. We head to the tavern where my mighty tale unfolds. Crafted from numbers on living paper. I skip from the mundane to a medieval caper. While in real life, my fate is unspoken. Hero roll of the dice and my fate is unspoken. The king honored me with the mighty crossbow. It's blessed by the elves, he said. I thank him and I go. The life of a hero, struggling to stay alive. It's worth all the hardship though, 'cause now I'm a level 5. Level 5.
All right, I am back. Anybody else here? Oh, I see some microphones unmuting.
Hello.
Hello. And I think I saw Tina unmute. Are you back with us, Tina?
Weird.
Yay. And Henrik, you're also back with us?
Yes.
Just need Alex. So Montgomery, when you see Nigel making this observation, you're probably standing near him. He's probably pointing at it. What would Montgomery say?
Well, I would say, yes, Nigel, indeed. It does appear to have taken that particular shape, like that of someone lying down.
And it looks like Alex is back with us. Excellent.
Yes.
So where we left off, you have toured the mine, and you have now seen the shape of the hills. And it's easy for one to see shapes in clouds or things like that. But that sure looks like somebody, laying down on their side. So, and Linus seems
Sure.
more than thrilled at seeing this.
Oh, Linus knows that you said it.
Yeah, and Linus says, I can't believe I never thought of that myself. I can't wait to tell the Magnusons.
Nigel, can I talk quietly to Nigel?
Sure.
Away from Linus? He's going to whisper in his ear. Do you think they're mining the heart of that being?
Yes, and considering how large this is, it's quite a frightening thought.
And you have seen a giant. This would be even larger, significantly larger than that. The giant you saw was, would be 10 meters tall or so. This is, hundreds of meters long.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever this is something you have never encountered before, or whatever it once might have been.
They said they have a lot of the green stones. And maybe they're pieces of the heart of that. But if it was a Vaesen, what was it? What would it be?
Yes, I mean, I feel like something this large would be impossible to be unnoticed.
Perhaps we could ask Freya. I go ask Freya. I draw her back from the group and say, well, if this was a Vaesen, what would it be? It's so big.
Can I make a learning roll?
Absolutely.
Come on.
Learn something, Freya.
Yeah, I know, she totally deserves to get better rolls.
Right? Just,
Yeah.
Yay! Learned.
The only thing that comes to mind is Greek mythology, and before the Greek gods were the Titans, and perhaps this was some precursor to the giants, an even more massive being. And whether this is the only one of these ever to have been discovered is very likely, because you've never heard of anything so massive, or whether this is the only one of these things to have ever existed, you also don't know. But you suspect this is some sort of pre-Vaesen being or entity, and you worry that perhaps this is the god of nature itself.
Oof.
Where the old mine site is, were they mining the green stones, or were they mining just coal or whatever?
This was an old copper mine, and so they were mining copper here.
Okay, but then they moved to the new site, and now they're finding green stones.
Yep, correct.
Okay. A Titan. A Titan that died here, and now they're taking its heart, and imagine how big it will be. How much power they will have.
I don't want to know what they do with that.
Well,
We need to take it.
According to those guards you spoke with earlier, it's going to be revealed at the dinner tonight.
Oh no. We need to steal the heart. It's a heist.
Do we still have time to go to the research center?
Yeah, there's still a few hours before the dinner, and there you may get more answers there as far as what they are doing with those stones. You suspect it's probably very secretive, but you may be able to glean some information based on what you see in the research center. And Linus is more than happy to take you over there to the facility, and it's disappointing when you walk in. It's essentially a lobby, a gift shop, and a whole bunch of restricted areas. And there is a door that says authorized personnel only. And as you approach, Linus says, oh, that's a laboratory. I'm afraid you're not allowed in there. It's not ready yet to be shown to the public.
Who can access it?
Well, anyone with credentials, of course.
Does it look like the door requires like a special key or something to get in?
No, there is just a standard key. It looks like a standard lock. Nothing special about it. It's something that, you know, if you were of a mind to try to pick this lock, you think you could probably pick this lock.
Okay. Okay.
Wink.
Yeah.
Linus also says that, I mean, I have a key there. I'm an employee. I must know what's going on in there. Else how can I answer all of your very intelligent and numerous questions?
I mean, you're not really answering anything, Linus.
Well, I'm giving you the best answers that I have available. Most people don't ask as many questions as you do.
And I think Freya's gonna say, speaking of, and she's gonna like, kind of like, touch his shoulder to guide him away and be like, I have so many other questions if anyone wants to try to pick the lock or take his keys.
He looks down at your hand on his shoulder and looks at you and, oh yes, more questions, of course. And he rubs his hands with delight, ready to dispel some myths about this place with whatever canned responses he has memorized. So as you pull him away, who has a go at the lock? This will be a stealth roll.
I guess I could try.
I think I have a 5, but I think I have a -1 because of my rasping breath.
If you want to help, that'll give a bonus.
I will
die.
help. I will help. I will be going, here, what about if you get it into that little spot?
Nice. 3 successes.
Hey.
Okay. That's going to buy you some extra clues. So
Woo.
the laboratory is a very dark room with several wooden shelves. There are glass jars of various sizes stacked on top of the shelves, and after further inspection, it seems that they all contain biological matter in a translucent brownish liquid. Initially, it's small animals like frogs, toads, and other insects. And as you begin to go and scan these shelves, you see larger jars that contain a human hand, a human foot, various human organs, parts and bits of people, and even a fetus. And Ilsa, give me an investigation roll.
Can I push that?
Yes.
Man.
You know what? I forgot you had some bonus successes from your stealth roll, and I did tell you. Sorry, and I was gonna. So don't take a condition for that. I forgot. I was gonna give you some extra clues.
Okay.
Some of the jars also contain corpses of small Vaesen, a Vaetier that looks like horn and toss. There's a small winged fairy floating in a jar. There's even a gigantic claw that looks crocodilian or reptilian, but underneath is a plaque that reads Linguae Draconum. And a learning roll might be able to decipher that. At the back of the room, there's a door that looks like it leads into some sort of operating theater or operating suite. You'll need to pick this door as well if you want to get into there.
Help again.
Yep. Oh, wow.
Well,
At the back of the of the room is the door, and there's a sharp light that hangs over a surgical table. It's completely covered in blood. What looks like human limbs are lying on the table, placed in strange ways. Something that resembles leathery wings are also lying on the table. It looks like someone's trying to build a macabre puzzle using various pieces from different species. Just
Whisper
then,
to Ilsa. They're not going to put a green stone in that and make it go, are they?
That's a thought.
just then, Montgomery, your keen ears pick up the sound of approaching footsteps from an adjacent corridor that leads into this room from a back door. You can hear footsteps approaching you, Montgomery.
Well, it seems that we are not alone. Perhaps we should make haste here.
You probably don't want to be caught in this room. You can try to flee or you can try to hide.
Is there another door that we could just slip out through?
You can leave the way you came, or this other door, that's the one that these footsteps are approaching.
Shall we go for it and try to leave?
Well, I'm meaning, sorry, if you go out that door, you're going to run into whoever's coming this way. And they're getting closer and closer.
I think Dagmar would be fast. She's used to getting away from people who don't want her to be in places, so I don't think she would hide. I don't think Blix is very good at hiding.
So you're
I'm
going
gonna
to
go
get
for
out
it.
of there.
Yep.
What about Nigel? What are you doing?
Yeah, it sounds like we got enough advanced warning to get out of there, so I don't think Nigel would be tarrying too long.
And Montgomery?
Yes, I will follow Nigel.
And Ilsa?
Yeah, I'm leaving too.
As you head out and you're moving with haste, you're doing your best to be quiet because your own footfalls will echo in this sterile operating theater. And there's a sound in this room, and you all look at your dear friend Dagmar, and she is rasping as she breathes, and you think, oh no, this rasping, this asthmatic response that she has because of her injuries. You hope that doesn't give you away. Now, you get out of this surgical room. You came through a locked door. You need to get that door relocked if you want to leave this exactly as you found it, or else you can just go out through the laboratory, the shelves with jars, and out the main door.
I think we'd try to actually close the door at least.
Otherwise
so that
they'll know someone was in here.
it's been in there, yep. So until they test it, they won't know if it's locked, but I think closing it would be good.
So, if to close it, there's no roll needed. If you want to try to relock it, that's going to take a roll. Ilsa, you seem to be the thief in the party right now. What are you doing?
I don't think I'm gonna take the time to relock it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna get out of there.
So you shut the door and you all hasten out. And as you go out into the hallway, just as you get out that door back into basically the large lobby area, you can see Freya over there talking to Linus, and she's got this glazed look on her eyes like, oh, I can't take any more of this. And he's just waxing on and on about the history of the land and how great Sweden's going to be. And as you shut the door behind you, mansplaining her, absolutely. In fact, he's explaining, he says, so mansplaining is when a man has to explain to a woman. So he's mansplaining to her. And,
Oh wow, it's time suddenly to go get ready.
Gotta go kill myself. And as you begin to leave, and Ilsa, you shut that door behind you, you can hear voices in the room. And it's two Swedish voices, and it sounds like, hey, This door wasn't locked. Was someone in here? Check everything. Make sure they didn't take anything.
We didn't, did we?
Nope.
Phew.
And so, if you had taken something, they would have noticed. But you did not touch or take anything. So you think you're clear, but you probably don't want to be standing near this door if they come out here. So you go and gather up your friend. And she is more than happy to be dragged away from Linus, as he says, perhaps after the show tonight, perhaps you and I can get together and we can talk about some of my theories about what it is that we're mining here, these beautiful emeralds.
Oh, I've already made plans, sadly.
Oh, well, perhaps the next morning over breakfast.
I'll have my people contact your people.
Oh, but I don't have people. Oh,
Find them. They're good at finding them.
Oh, okay. And you see his shoulders kind of slump, and he turns and looks around, and his eyes hit Nigel and says, "Oh, I've not spoken with you. Come now, let me tell you of the history of this land. Let us walk and talk. I'll take you back to your apartments." And he puts his arm through yours, and he's kind of holding you tightly as he's excitedly talking about everything that you could have guessed. This grass here grows because of photosynthesis in the sun, and it gets tiring. But you look around thinking, this is the perfect alibi, because he's probably not going to recall that we ever left the group, because he was so into what he was explaining to Freya. You've got a little bit of time as you tell Freya what you found in the laboratory before the dinner happens. And I'll give you guys a second to maybe discuss, what did you find, what did you see, and what in the hell is going on here. So I'll let Ilsa. Why don't you tell Freya what you found?
Oh, well, Freya, it seems that they're collecting parts of Vaesen, and it seems like they're trying to build one of their own. Me and Dagmar think that possibly they're trying to bring one to life with one of these stones.
That is very troubling.
Indeed.
All the more reason to steal the heart if they've somehow managed to take it.
At Frankenstein, because I have, and it was really scary, and I feel like this is like that.
Yeah, I think if they bring something to life, I don't think it's going to go the way they want it to. And a lot of people think
Vaesen
it
do. Right. And they had dead Vaesens in jars. The little Vaesen. They were very dead. I didn't try to take them out. It was terrible, Freya.
It sounds like it.
These are
Almost as
bad
terrible
people.
as listening to Linus.
At least he wasn't Pace or Pete.
Oh god, yeah.
Same ilk.
Everywhere. They're everywhere.
That's true.
It's like you turn over a rock, you're gonna find a Linus, a Pace, or a Pete.
Ugh.
At least he's a bit shinier.
As the hours pass by as you're explaining and discussing, eventually there's a knock on the door, and lo and behold, it's Linus again. Only this time he's wearing a very fine suit, and he has a small handful of invitations, and they are rather simple, and they're handwritten, and it invites you to the banquet hall on the second floor of the research facility. And this will be the great show. And he says, I do hope that you will arrive early and get a good seat, because I hear this is going to be unforgettable.
You can't give us a little preview of what we're about to see?
Well, the Magnusons are going to speak, and Mr. Magnuson, he's going to show off his latest toy. And, this is going to put Sweden on the map. Trust me, this will change everything. You might want to bring some cotton wool to stuff in your ears. You'll know when.
Okay.
And you look, there is no cotton wool in this room. In fact, there's not even a chair in your rooms. You'd have to pull some stuffing like out of a mattress or something if you wanted to stuff anything into your ears.
I mean, we could ruin their mattresses.
Okay with
I
that?
don't think they'd notice. I think the mattresses are already pretty shabby looking.
I don't think we'll be sleeping here somehow.
Should we head to the banquet?
Yes.
So on the second floor of the research center is the large hall that hosts all the international guests who have gathered here for the demonstration. As much of the buildings here as we've mentioned, they're not very aesthetically pleasing. They're built of a lot of cement and reinforced concrete, and it looks like some sort of bunker. But it has a tall window that faces the mine, and there's a large balcony that gives a panoramic view of the entire area. There are roughly 150 people in attendance, and while the ball at Uppsala University consisted mostly of scientists, this one there are many military officers. In fact, the few invited scientists are looking increasingly nervous when they realize they are in a very significant minority. During the dinner, the Magnussons, they're in attendance, and they're welcoming everyone. However, Carl is the one doing most of the talking, and Montgomery, give me an observation roll. Nice. Montgomery, you notice that Sigrid, she is not happy. She's frowning. She's very, very cross. Whether they've had, you almost think they've had an argument. Whether they've had an argument or some sort of disagreement right before the ball, you can't tell. But she does not look happy. Very much in contrast to how she was at Uppsala, when she had everyone eating out of the palm of her hand.
Well, I will point this out to my companions.
There's a lot of mingling that happens early on at the banquet, and Montgomery, you know a few of the people here through your military connections. Last time it was more some of the aristocrats that you know, but now it's old veterans of past wars, and some of whom you've followed their careers, or perhaps you even served with. But it sounds as though, compared to last time this was all about the science and about it was a healing demonstration. But most of the military people here say that they're expecting to see something tremendous and something with great utility, and it doesn't sound like it's going to be healing by any stretch. You think this is a weapon of war. And there's even a geologist from the United States, and he's kind of nervously whispering to one of the other scientists that, and since they're speaking English, you can clearly understand this. He nervously whispers that he's not seen any of the science that he was promised. He says, "This is not what I traveled across the Atlantic for, but please don't tell them I said that. My colleague was sent home for questioning the size of this ridiculous research center. They do not like criticism." Sigrid makes eye contact with you, Montgomery, and she doesn't seem to look at anyone else. Throughout the dinner, She looks at you almost with a deep, penetrating gaze. And you've had some moments speaking with her at the castle, and now she seems to be just keenly focused on you. And you note that she looked quite young at the earlier banquet in Uppsala and when she visited the castle, and now she's showing her age. You can see wrinkles on her face and lines that crease her brow, as though she has gone through a great deal over the past several months. Before dessert is served, Carl invites everyone to join him on the balcony where he will start the demonstration. Gather around. You will want to see this with your own eyes. Last time, we showed you the potential of these stones, their use, how they can heal, mend, bring medical science to a new frontier. But it does not end there. Let us see what these stones can break. And Carl raises his hand, signaling down to personnel on the ground. And you can see a light shining down upon that large stone cylinder, or metal cylinder, the Gustav that he called it. They place something into the cylinder and then quickly retreat into cover. Carl gestures again, and the cylinder begins to hum and emit a familiar green glow. The entire balcony begins to shake, and Linus begins to stuff cotton in his ears, and he looks at all of you, nodding like, now's the time, if you've got it. He begins to shove cotton into his ears, and without warning, a very bright green light emits from the device, momentarily blinding everyone on the balcony, followed by a huge explosion. The ground shakes and a mushroom cloud rises into the sky as the green glow fades. There's a shocked silence that later turns into uproarious applause. "This is what we can do with 50 of these small stones," Carl shouts over the cheering. "Imagine what we can do with 1,000. And Montgomery, you see Sigrid looking at Carl with undisguised disgust and anger. The rest of the evening is much like the first ball in Uppsala. People speaking of the potential of these stones, how this will change everything. And you realize that their focus has gone from healing to harming, to breaking. You don't think this is just for mining. This is for warfare. Absolutely. After about an hour of conversation where most questions are answered obliquely, there no direct answers, but rather promises of production and yield and things like that. Many of the scientists have left early. They want nothing to do with what they've seen. The focus, whatever was promised a year ago in Uppsala, seems to have changed. And Montgomery, you can see that Sigrid is beside herself with anger and frustration at this turn of events. As the evening winds down, she disappears before everyone else begins to leave, and quickly the ushers begin to open the doors and bid everyone a good evening, that the train is here for those that need to head back into town, and that guides will be brought to lead others to their rooms, and that includes all of you. And the night outside is quiet and cold, despite it being in summertime, and the sun is still visible behind the mountain range, casting long shadows. And the mine entrance is watched by just a few guards, and it seems as though everything has quieted down. When you get back to your apartments, you're there for about 30 minutes, unwinding, and Montgomery, you hear a small knock at your door.
Well, does Nigel have an adjoining room to mine?
He does, in fact.
Oh, well, I will Say, Nigel, the door, please.
I like the idea of someone knocks on your door, so you go knock on our door, and then
Go get my door, would you?
yeah, but yes, my pleasure. And Nigel would, of course, go to the door.
When you open the door, you're expecting to see Linus. He's been bothering everyone all day, it seems. But it's Sigrid. And she's wearing a dark cloak, and she asks, very frankly, may I come in? Her voice sounds thick, as if she's struggling to speak.
Oh dear, that's deja vu. Well, yeah, I think Nigel would interpret that Montgomery would want to speak with Sigurd. Yes, please, my lady, come in.
Once inside, she stands waiting for you to take her cloak. And when you take it off, you see that her entire face is covered in bruises. When Montgomery walks in, she simply says, "My husband is dead. I killed him."
Oh.
And she sits down on the sofa and takes out a mirror, observing her bruises.
Well, what is it that you wish to speak to me about?
One moment. I haven't had time to put this on yet. From her front pocket, she takes out a vial with a clear liquid, and she starts patting her face with the liquid, right in front of your eyes. The bruises begin to fade, and her face begins to transform into a younger version of herself. She puts the liquid away and says, "In the beginning, when we reopened the mine, Carl and I, we had an agreement to further science and humanity, to make the world a better place. As the project continued, however, we realized that our definitions of furthering humanity were very different. Carl wanted world domination through force. He could not see a world without war. But my work and knowledge would help him to win his wars, or so he thought. Well, I thought I could change his mind, but it was pointless, wasn't it? Everyone followed Carl's lead, and I lost control. The university had similar concerns, but the institution was manipulated into believing that this was the right course of action. I had no other choice. It needed to be stopped before we break the world. Lord Montgomery." And this is the first time she's called you Lord Montgomery. Before it was Monty. "Lord Montgomery, will you help me destroy it? The mine, the research, everything? It'll put an end to this misery and possibly save countless lives, both human and Vaesen. Oh yes, I know of them. I have the site as well. Listen, there's another bomb hidden in the mine, 10 times as powerful. It's not like Gustav, it's unrefined. It's simply an expansive mass of that green stone. If I can get to it undisturbed, I can set it to blow. It'll trigger an explosion large enough to take the mine and the stones with it. You need to sound the alarm, evacuate the area. We have protocols in place. Everyone will know what to do. For me, though, I don't think I'll be coming back from this, but I've made my peace with it. I have full access to the entire site, but we need to act quickly. In the morning, they will notice the absence of my husband, and things will get complicated. If we're doing this, we need to do it now."
Well, I would certainly help you. I don't think a weapon like this could be trusted, especially not if it's not in the hands of the British Empire, so of course I shall help you.
If anyone could be a steward of something dangerous, it would be the British Empire. Do you have any questions for her? Do you go and get the others?
Yes, I think this is something that my companion should hear.
When you hear Sigrid's story and her pleading with you to help her to destroy what her and her husband have created, she tells you that time is short. There's a window of just a few hours before any attempts you might make will be pointless.
Well, we better act now then.
Mm-hmm.
Would you really go alone, Sigrid?
I think my part has been played, and I think I'm at peace. I need help. Just putting these last pieces on the board. Perhaps you could dress up as my personal staff and just let me do the talking. I'll get us into the mine. And once there, well, we'll get it ready to go, won't we? Unless you have another idea, I'm open to it.
Linus.
Linus, he's a worm. What about him?
Send him instead. He says it like half jokingly, but also like, do it.
Could Linus evacuate the people, though?
Yeah, he probably could.
I could task him with it. He does whatever he's asked. He has a zealousness that, my goodness, it's frightening at times. That man, if my Carl told him to leap in front of a moving train, he would do it.
We don't have Carl to countermand what you tell him to do.
Right.
So.
The problem is Linus, well, he doesn't like me. I think he would be suspicious if it were me. Does one of you have his trust?
Look at Freya.
Um, yeah, I suppose so.
Well, his quarters are 2 floors down and to the left. Room 7. Just knock on his door. Let him know he needs to evacuate the facility. He'll know what to do.
Do we need to make a reason to evacuate it? Like, I quite like setting fires, so perhaps we could set a fire somewhere?
Well, it's all going to be gone by morning, so burn whatever you like.
Okay, set fire to my bed.
Yeah.
Nice. So what is the plan? So someone's going to go get Linus. You're going to start a fire here. They'll see the smoke. They'll know there's something up. How do you evacuate the rest of the facility? Linus can... he can for sure clear this out. You could task him with whatever you need him to do. You can do... If you need to send someone else out, I'll let you guys kind of come up with a plan here.
Dagmar wants to go with Sigrid, but I think she's also going to rouse the research station by running down the hallways, yelling in her high girlish voice and gasping at the same time, and with Blix barking and going, "Fuck!"
And that will absolutely... Once Blix starts barking, people will absolutely wake up. Freya, as you knock on Linus's door, when he opens the door and sees you, he's in his bedclothes, and he sees you, and his eyes grow wide, and he slams the door and says, "Just a minute," and you hear the things being knocked over and almost like a struggle in there. And then he opens the door, and his hair has been cleanly greased back to the side, and he's wearing this little cheesy smile, and he's put on his tuxedo coat over his pajamas, basically. It's like, well, fancy you stopping by so late at night. Do you need something? Is there something I can give you?
Uh, Freya is just like, oh, good.
Freya.
You have your outside. You have your outside clothes on. Yeah, I need you to go outside and just rouse everyone. Everyone needs to be evacuated right now.
Why?
Right now.
Oh, okay. Well, is there something wrong?
Yeah, there are fires happening. Has Dagmar set the fires?
Yep, he
Yeah.
absolutely did.
And
Freya like turns him around to where, like, I guess his window maybe where he could see like smoke or something, and it's like, look.
and he sniffs the air. Oh no, and begins to yell out, fire, fire, and runs down, just pounding on every door as he runs past. You've set him to action, and he will do everything he can to ensure that everyone follows every strict fire safety guideline in the book. Sigrid, Dagmar, you're running up and down the halls, yelling fire, clearing this floor. As people begin to come out, they begin to rouse other people, and it's chaotic as everyone is pouring out of their rooms, evacuating the apartments. Sigrid uses the chaos to take you outside and to hasten you towards the mine. Now, when you are outside near the mine, there are 2 guards outside the entrance. Sigrid looks at Montgomery and says, take care of those guards, won't you? I need to get some supplies. And she steps away in the darkness, and you're left facing 2 guards at the entrance to the mine.
Could I use a talent?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know one of these guards from
Ooh.
Uppsala. But I do have to make a manipulation roll to see if it works. Oh, did you watch those roll? Yeah, I'll push it because at this point she's a little bit, she's a bit frightened and she doesn't want to hurt these guards if she can help it.
Yeah.
Phew.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, which guard is it? Who is it? How do you know him?
It's Lars.
Lars.
It's Lars, and he's from Uppsala, and he was a street kid once. He's made good, and so she goes, Lars, is that you?
And he
Do you
recognizes
remember me?
Blix first, and then he looks at you,
Yeah.
Dagmar, and reaches out and takes you in a big hug. And the other guard kind of chuckles. He's like, this guy, he knows everybody.
Yeah, he's real friendly. Hey, Lars, Sigrid and us, we've got a really important job to do in there, and we need to get in. But there's a fire back at the research station, and we need you to go and help evacuate people while we try to fix this problem in the mine. Can you guys go?
Yeah, he looks over your shoulder, and he can now see the glow of that fire through some of the windows in that building, and he can see the smoke. And he's like, yeah, stay away from that building. Don't go anywhere. Stay here. Don't go anywhere that's flammable, please. Just stay here. We'll be back. And he gets his companion, and they take off, leaving the entrance to the mine unguarded. As you head in to the mine, you can see the same areas that Linus took you on. But if you follow those larger veins of crystal, or if it were a blood vessel, you're tracing the smaller ones to the larger ones, which will take you to the heart. And that is how these tunnels go. And as long as you're following these, you know you're going in the right direction. And just a short distance away is Sigrid, and she comes in, and she has got a small amount of TNT that will be used to detonate the heart. And the heart is huge. When you get into that room, it's roughly the size of a home, and just probably 200 cubic meters of green glowing crystal. This heart is just enormous. And when Sigrid walks in, she tells you to please ensure that no one comes in here that shouldn't be here, because this is all going to be vaporized in short order. And as you begin to
I'm just
head,
going to say to her, don't you want to try to get out?
she says, I'll do my best. But this needs to go. Now, as you turn, you hear a sound. There is someone coming down the mine shaft, pursuing you, headed your direction. And you see a spasmodic, quivering, shaking young girl walking towards you. It's Lisa Johansson. She's walking in a jittery way, as though she's struggling to control her legs. But as she sees all of you, her posture changes. Like a hunter observing its prey, she stands completely still. One of the guards, Lars's friend, he comes back in, and Lisa turns and tears his throat out with her bare hand.
Oof.
And then she looks at all of you, and oh, my mouse just died. Let me turn it back on. And we're going to go into initiative. Let me take us back to our landing page, and we'll do it from there. And let's get some music here. Let me grab Lisa. And we've got Sigrid as well. So let's pull
It's very whimsical.
It's very whimsical. She
Yeah,
just whimsically took his throat out.
I need some
Yeah,
I need
very
some
charming.
different music here. This is well, that song's called The Helpful Hag. That would have been good for Hedwig, but not so much for this. There we go. Okay. Everyone can draw an initiative card. Perfect. Oh, I'm the one that has it. Okay, there we go. Montgomery, you're up first. Lisa, this is not the young girl. You see as her mouth begins to enlarge, her teeth become larger. Her face takes on an aged and scarred appearance as someone who has seen battles, who has been cut with knife and sword, seared by flames, who has lived and died on the battlefield. This is no mere human you face. This is a revenant. And I need Montgomery to make a fear test. You can roll logic or empathy. You're good. You can act.
Well, I will pull out my officer's revolver and fire a shot.
As you fire, she will evade this roll with her fast action. And you got 2 successes, and she got 2 successes as well. So your shot looks to be true, but she dodges out of the way at the last moment. However, that has used up her fast action. She cannot dodge anyone else's action this round.
I will use that extra success to give Nigel a bonus, as I say. Nigel, aim for the heart.
Perfect. Freya, you're up next.
I guess it's time to swing the old axe. Sorry, Lisa. There you go. I don't think. Yeah, that doesn't. Ooh.
Nice.
Oh. Devious and hateful grain.
Uh-huh. Ilsa, you're up next.
Can I actually maybe try to reason with her?
Sure.
So I'll say to her, I've seen you in my visions, and I know you've been through so much heartbreak, and this is not the way to make it right. But we can help you. We can help you with whatever you're trying to do, and we're on your side.
Give me a manipulation roll. You push it.
Yeah.
Oh. She looks at you, and she pauses for a moment. You can see the conflict in her features as she shakes her head, no, and then those eyes roll over black, and whatever was Lisa is pushed back for whomever this shield maiden is, as she refuses to listen to your reason. Dagmar, your turn.
Dagmar's gonna take Ilsa's lead and try to get Lisa back again. We're trying to free this heart. We're trying to. We're your friends. We were always your friends.
Give me a manipulation roll. Do you push that?
Yeah, I'll go angry. Because she's not listening to me. And I know my friend's in there.
Oh, you got it. She's going to make an opposed roll against that.
It's like the Vaesens fighting with Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Look how many dice she's got.
No, she does not oppose that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you see that her face contorts, and half her face looks like the shield maiden, and the other half becomes youthful, like young Lisa that you saw at that inn in Falun.
Blicks up and step away against a wall or something, trying to stay away from her.
And Lisa, on her turn, with murderous intent in her eyes, she pauses. And she actually takes a few steps back. Nigel, your turn.
Wow, I can't shoot her now, can I?
Hey, Nigel? Well, you could if you wanted to. It's just giving you a chance to shoot her.
Feel bad for slashing her now. Sorry, Lisa.
There's something there, certainly. Nigel will just try to, defend Montgomery. I guess I'll just pass. I don't know. He's not a talker, but he will not shoot. His conscience wouldn't permit it.
You hold an action in this game?
You can't. But you can just decline to do anything. We go to the next round, and Dagmar, you're up first.
We need to go. We all need to go because this thing's going to blow up. So do you want to go ahead of us? Because we're coming right behind you.
She looks at the stones where Sigrid is setting the charge, and she says, "No, I must do this." And she steps towards the stones.
Okay.
What
I guess that's my turn. What must you do? Yeah.
This heart. It must be reclaimed for Vaesen. It is not fit for mankind.
And blowing it up won't do that?
There is another way. She suspects, and she raises her hand and points at Sigrid. She suspects the truth. And Sigrid looks at Lisa, and you see this look of understanding cross over her face. And she says, "Oh yes, I finally understand now. Come, child. Come, step forward. Come claim the stone." And she steps to the side and beckons for Lisa to approach the stone. And as Lisa does, she draws near with unsure steps. And as she gets close and reaches out both hands to touch this massive green gemstone that has had pieces mined off of it, she puts her hands near, and you see the stone begin to glow. And just as that happens, Sigrid says, "Come to me, you beast." And she grabs Lisa's hand. And as she does, Lisa collapses on the ground like a broken doll. All the power of the Vaesen sucked from her body. And the light from the stones near Sigrid begins to intensify, and it begins to permeate her entire body.
Oh boy.
And she says, "I suspected this power was here for the taking, but I did not know how to claim
You lied
it
to us.
until now." And now something happens that has not happened in thousands of years. The Laponian Gate opens. A powerful northern light appears outside in that U-shaped valley, forming an unnaturally even circle between the mountains. The ground shakes. You feel a powerful presence of Vaesen, so strong you must all make a fear test. Something big is coming.
That is an empathy roll, right?
Logic or empathy?
Definitely empathy.
Cool.
So Nigel,
From 2 dice.
Montgomery, and Freya and Dagmar pass, so only Ilsa does not pass.
Can I push fear rolls?
Sure.
Okay. Oh man.
No. How are you on conditions?
I have all the mental conditions checked now.
So are you broken now?
No, I need one more to be broken. Yeah.
You become broken mentally.
Okay.
That's the result of the fear. As outside, a form begins to come through the gate.
Oh.
And let me roll to see what your condition is.
That is so cool.
Is it mental or critical injuries?
It's a big boy. Frozen
Frozen facial muscles. Okay. So you now have
Been
Bell's
worse.
palsy. So fantastic. Let me drag that onto your character sheet.
It's like Botox, but better.
Don't make that face, it'll stay like that.
Alright, frozen facial muscles. It's not fatal. Your face it's actually frozen in a mask of terror. So you've got this like you're kind of halfway screaming sort of look on your face. And it's stuck there. You can't get it off. In fact, you're probably panting. You can't close your mouth. It's like you've got lockjaw or something.
Oh dear.
But that gate opens and something big is coming through. Sigrid screams in ecstasy, her entire body now emitting the green light and her features twisting into something feral and haunting. The gate is open. Something is coming through the gate.
We close the gate.
Well, about that TNT.
Yeah, we do.
Let me add Sigrid to the initiative order.
Oh, if we could still blow up the heart, maybe?
Freya, it's your turn.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna try to. The heart is still like out, right?
Oh yeah, it's still there. It's got the TNT on it. Sigrid is standing there. She may not let you blow this up easily. She looks like she's ready to kick some ass.
Okay, great. Whale. I guess I'm just gonna axe Sigrid, so
Perfect.
try to take her down. Or at least occupy her so someone can sneak in.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, well, here we go.
Nice.
Woo!
She is not going to use her fast action on... well... Yeah, she is. She's going to use her fast action on this one.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she blocks
Yep.
that. No, in fact, as you swing the axe down, her hand comes up and grabs the axe mid-swing, and you feel a force through that axe that makes your hands tingle with pain, like an electric shock running through that axe.
Ooh.
Nigel.
Well, now may be the best time to shoot her.
Yes.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, could have been better, but hit, I guess.
You can push it if you want to try and get more successes.
You know what? Yeah. He's like trying to like really make this one count.
Hey.
So 2 successes. So that does, I think your gun does 1 point of damage plus 1 more. Gun, is 1 damage. No, 2 damage. And then, yeah, so 3 damage. It's actually a really good shot. Devious, hateful, twisted. Ilsa, you are broken mentally. When you're mentally broken, you can crawl around. You just can't. You can't do a lot. Now you see that Lisa is also broken on the ground, not far away, and it's whatever had been inhabiting her body seems to have been drawn out, and now this young girl is lying on the ground, broken, much like yourself. Do you crawl to her? Do you send Crust out of here?
Ooh. No, I'll keep him with me. She had, like, supplies to, like, destroy the heart, right?
Yeah, in fact, you can see there's a small bundle of TNT and some, there's an electronic detonator, so it's like the little plunger box that creates an electric charge. So there's a big spool of wire and the plunger in here. So you'd have to carry that out of the mine and set it off.
Okay. Can I, like, pick that up and start crawling out?
You can start crawling with that. In the commotion, because there's a lot of action shooting going on, and you look like you're effectively out of the fight, I'd say you'd be able to get over to the detonator. Probably not enough to begin crawling it out of there, but you're over kind of by Lisa and kind of by the detonator, and it would take your full action just to get over there. You've basically given up all hope at this point. In fact, we can look at let me just look real quick for when you are mentally broken, what it means. When you're broken by mental injury, you're overwhelmed. You no longer know who or where you are. In any case, you've lost the ability to look after yourself and really to act with purpose. Now, you can still flee, you can parry, you can dodge, you can make skill tests, but you can't attack enemies or perform rituals. So you can move around. You're not great in a fight, but you still have some of your wits about you. You're just, you've gone full emo at this point. You're just, you've got your goth on. You're already dressed the part. You're ready to just talk about how terrible life is, and it's hopeless. but you can see a way out, and that is to detonate the harden. So you manage to get over by Lisa, and you get the detonator, and then on your next turn you'll be able to start moving away with it.
Okay.
Sigrid. I'm going to roll a die to see who she targets. 1 is Dagmar, 2 is Montgomery, 3 is Nigel, and 4 is Freya. Montgomery. So she, and this makes sense. She looks at you and says, "You and I, we could have done great things, but with the power I have now, there is no room for you." And she's going to cast a spell on you. This is a curse, and you'll resist this with a force roll. So give me a force roll. She's going to roll her magic, and if she gets more successes than you do on a force roll, this will succeed.
Well, my force is 2, so it's impossible.
Well, you just need 2 successes. Do you want to push that?
100% no.
You will take 2 physical conditions as she opens up great blistering boils and wounds all across your skin. And you feel your skin just weeping with pus and fluids. And you look down and you look as though you are halfway to a decomposed corpse. And you think there is no coming back from this. Montgomery, it's your turn. Push that.
I do not wish to push.
Dagmar.
I'm going to dive forwards towards Ilsa and try to help mentally heal her.
Perfect. That's an inspiration roll.
And I have a talent as well. I have the Lord's Shepherd, so I get a +2 when using inspiration to treat a mental critical injury. So,
didn't you just take this one last time?
Yes, I did just take it last time. She's getting very interested in healing, what with all her injuries. So, I get a +2. Does have quite a few mental conditions herself, so.
Oh.
God damn it. Hopeless. Yeah, I'm pushing.
So now you're at 3 mental conditions?
Yes. Yes!
Oh,
Got
nice.
it.
Woo!
2.
So that's going to... Ilsa, you are no longer broken, and you can recover 1 additional condition.
She's just going to say, Ilsa, come on, we can't stop now. We got to keep going. And she's going to kind of, sort of lift Elsa by the waist and help her to try to get to her feet and keep moving faster with the detonator.
And even as she says this, Ilsa, you can sense that she is scared. She's putting on a brave face. It was enough to pull you out of your malaise and your hopelessness, but you sense that same hopelessness coming from Dagmar as she tried to give you the last of what hope she might have had.
Yeah.
And I'll just clutch onto her as we run out of this cave together.
Yeah.
Sigrid. So now she can go after any one of you. So 1 is Dagmar, 2 is Ilsa, 3 Montgomery, 4 Nigel, and 5 Freya.
Woo!
Nigel. Nigel, make a force roll as she puts a curse upon you as well.
Oh,
But
Ooh, blimey.
you got 1. You can push that if you want. She got 3.
yeah. It's just I push it and then I'm just even more hurt for whatever this does to me. What are the odds I get 2 more?
Yeah,
I'll
you're
just
gonna take 2 physical conditions. As you see the wounds on Montgomery, and then you look down at your hands. These hands that have primped and coiffed his hair and prepared his meals and shined his shoes, and your hands are gnarled like old arthritic claws, and you can't even open your fingers as this crippling wave of magic washes over and bends your bones like so many pieces of metal. Ilsa, your turn.
I'm just running out of the mine right now.
So with the detonator, you and
Yeah.
Dagmar.
Yeah.
Freya.
How close are they to like outside of the mine?
They're probably 100 meters, 300 feet.
Okay. Are we fighting close to any kind of like precipice?
Not in here. It's almost a straight carve right to the heart. There are some stalactites hanging up above you, or large rock formations that you could possibly break to bring down upon her, but there is no precipice here.
Aw, I want to like kick her off a cliff.
Yeah, I really. I want you to be able to do that.
Yeah, great idea.
Okay. Yeah, she'll just buy them some time, and just try to hit her again. While also maybe positioning her body to make a run for it when needed.
Nice.
You know, just in case. Okay. Hey.
Nice. And she has not done her fast action. She's going to do that now and try to resist this.
Haha.
And she gets one success, so one of yours gets through. That's 2 points of damage to her. So she puts up her hand to try and block it. And where does your axe fall?
That's a good question. But probably, honestly, like straight through the hand.
Ooh, nice. And you
Yeah.
see a blinding flash of green light, and her fingers fly off like so many little sausages tossed up into the air. And rather than blood coming out of her hand, brilliant pinpoint streaks of light, like green lasers, come out and shine up against the wall as she looks at her hand, and then you see those fingers begin to regrow.
Oh. Damn.
Nigel.
Ooh. Can Nigel... I've not tried this yet. Can he just punch her in the face?
Absolutely.
He is a pugilist. He took the town a long time ago. This woman is
Absolutely.
horrible. What strength he has left, and he's got robust. What determination he can muster. Is that close combat?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Nice.
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, and then I sent a picture. So I don't even know how that happened, but there you go.
It was the picture that did it. That was enough to push her over the edge. So, this is hilarious. So, she's broken. Tell me how you do this.
Well, yeah, his hands are pretty messed up, but just for one last hurrah, he just wallops her, for good old England, and it works.
And you hit her, and she falls backward, and you hear a loud crack as her head hits that green gemstone heart, and she slumps down to the ground, and now you see blood down the back of that stone, and that blood begins to sizzle and boil in that brilliant light of that green gemstone. And as she slumps down, defeated, I'm sure Lord Montgomery has a, well done, for you, hurrah, where's my slippers? But you look at this and you think, like, I did it, I did it, I didn't think I had it in me. But somehow she just poked you enough to get you to put down the gun and just put up your own two dukes. You've been through a lot, a duel that you didn't even intend to join, knocked into a coma from a cannon blast, but here, just in a feral burst of of anger, you just wallop her right in the face. As she slumps back against that stone crystal, the ground all around you begins to tremble and crumble, and you can feel as though something is happening directly up above you, and soon you see stones begin to fall through the ceiling as a huge gray stone column punches down through the ceiling, and then the column begins to bend. It's a finger, and then another finger punches down, grabbing that green gemstone heart in a massive hand, a hand that could easily scoop up all of you at once. And as it begins to pull and rip that heart free from the ground, Sigrid begins to wail and cry and say, "No, this was not supposed to happen." Now, let's jump to Ilsa. You've got this detonator, see, and you're running down the hallway. You get outside, and as you turn around to look into the mine, you can see this massive form standing over the mine with its hand pushed down through the mountain to rip the heart out of whatever that titan was that fell on the ground there. If you set this off now, everyone inside will die. If you don't, who knows what will happen when that thing takes that heart. And you've got Dagmar with you, and Crust and Blix will be fine. But what do you do?
Oh, I don't want to kill my friends. I think I'm gonna look down the tunnel and try to see if they're close to the entrance, and maybe shout down the mine and tell them to hurry and get out.
Freya, Montgomery, and Nigel, give me a vigilance roll.
Oh. Whoa,
Wow.
someone is very vigilant.
So Nigel and Montgomery, you hear Ilsa's cry. Freya, you don't, but the other two have heard it, and they're with you. You hear Freya and Dagmar pleading with you, "Please get out of the mine now," as this hand begins to pull and tear this giant heart free from the stone. And it's just a matter
Yes,
of time
but,
before it's pulled away from that dynamite.
Yes, but Nigel, before we go, please, some of my facial cream. I can't let them see me like this.
What do you guys in the tunnel do? Because right now, Ilsa, you don't see anyone coming out that tunnel.
Time to run, I guess.
Yeah, Nigel wants to start shoving them forward. We gotta move.
That's an
Yeah.
agility roll. And if anyone wants to try to bring Lisa, that's a force roll required to carry her to safety before the agility roll. And only one character can try.
Who's good at force?
Nigel's got an 8.
Okay, Nigel, yes.
Oh,
I mean, it's -3.
And I'll use a talent to help you out.
okay, tell me how you use this talent. What do you call upon? Because they're not with you for you to give them this blessing. So you're going to have to ask a spirit to go to their aid.
Yeah, so
Like, who would you ask? Is there a spirit that you could call upon that might go to their aid?
Ranzabald.
oh, that is a really good idea. I'll call on Franzabald.
You see this little, what was the description? Let me look in the book. He was shaped like a cinnamon bun or something. Let's see. He's as round as a cinnamon bun and shorter than most adult women. This cute little man appears, and you can see a seam on his neck where his head had been ripped free, but his spirit still bears the scar of that. And as he looks at you, he lowers his hat and holds it in his hands, and you ask of him to go and aid one of your friends. Who do you ask Franzabald to look after?
Well, I think Nigel was making the roll, and I think I would know Nigel is probably the one who's the most able to help.
Montgomery's
everyone
old. He's probably not getting out of there.
Yeah.
But there's a chance he does, unless Nigel carries him out first.
Yeah, so I'll tell Franzabal to go help Nigel.
So Nigel, you will get a +2 on a test of your choice. This can be on your force roll, if you want here, or on an agility roll, but only one of the two. If you want to try to carry Lisa out, it's a force roll to pick her up and carry her out. And then you'll need to make an agility roll. So the way this works is the player characters must now run for their lives or they will die. Make sure the players realize this. I think you do. Each of them must make an agility roll to get as far away as possible. Unless you helped Lisa earlier, she's still lying on the ground. A successful force roll is required to carry her to safety before the agility roll. Only one character can try. On a failed force roll, they can still carry Lisa, but the number of successes on the agility roll is reduced by 1. And, yeah, so you each get 1 agility roll. Okay, I won't tell you what happens, but you want to get lots of successes on the agility roll. So, Nigel, which do you want to take it on, the force or the agility?
I think it's the gentleman's code. He's pushing the others forward, and then he sees Lisa, and he's like, well, we've got to get her, and I would like to take it on that one. I would like to succeed this. I know the agility one's pretty big, though. I'm worse at that, but...
And add 2 to this. Nice.
Woo!
So this is the force roll. So you've got Lisa, and you can use one of your extra successes to give a bonus to either Montgomery or to Freya. Do you help the man that you have served, or do you help the woman who needs your help as well?
Oh boy.
No pressure. I'm so sorry, Freya, but I think Montgomery's wounded. It's the young, the wounded, and the old.
Come on, boss.
It makes
You got this.
It makes sense.
All right, so I need an agility roll from the 3 of you, and Montgomery, you will get a +1 to your agility roll.
Oh no!
You may
Can I
push if you want.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Come on, dice. Whew.
Oh,
So Freya got 1 success.
Oh man.
Montgomery, do you want to push that? And Nigel also didn't succeed?
I will. It'll break me to push it, but I'll also have terrible results if I don't push it, so I might as well try.
It's going to be bad either way, so whatever you want for the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh God! Oh no!
Okay, so
Go out together.
who is broken right now? Just Nigel?
Nigel definitely is. I don't know about Montgomery.
Montgomery, are you physically broken?
No, Montgomery has 1 condition left.
Okay, and Freya, are you physically broken, or you're good?
Nope.
Okay, so
Yep.
this is for Nigel. You have been through the war, through this campaign. Come on, crush genitals.
Oh no!
Hurry. Oh,
that's
shit.
Oh dear.
Oh. Okay. This is going to be a fatal one if you don't get care. So let me drag this on you. This is fatal in 1d6 rounds. So I'm going to let you, Luke, roll a 1d6 for me. Three rounds.
I'll take it.
3 rounds. Okay.
Better than 1.
The way that this works, when the bomb goes off, what happens is the massive blast immediately kills Sigrid and anyone else who remained nearby. The player characters are toppled by the shockwave, each suffering 3 physical conditions -1 for each success on their agility roll.
Oh Jesus!
So,
Oh.
Oh well, there we go.
So Montgomery, you had 0 successes, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you take 3 criticals. So let me roll your 3 criticals. This is for Montgomery. Which would be another scratched ear, broken fingernail, skin lesion, something like that.
Well,
Oh, man.
No.
Oh boy.
Okay. So, oh, wow. All right. So Montgomery, let's go through these one by one. I have a feeling some of these might be fatal. So bleeding wound. This is fatal in 1d6 days. So not immediately fatal. A crushing injury. Drag that on there. That is not fatal. And a ruptured tendon. That is also not fatal. So you're going to be okay. Roll 1d6 to see how many days until you bleed out or get gangrene from your bleeding wound.
that is a relief.
It's a relief.
Two.
2 days. So you've got 2 days on that. Nigel, how? So
I had worse in the war.
you have had worse. You were broken, but you had 1 success on an agility roll.
I don't know that I did.
Let me go back and look. Let's see.
I think it was just Freya who succeeded.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, Nigel
Just
did know
Freya.
that.
Okay, so you take 3 critical injuries.
Well, is it going to be worse than the burst artery? Oh dear.
Let's see what we get here.
So this is happening as they're running up the tunnel. We haven't
Yep.
even had the explosion yet, right?
Well, this is as the explosion happens and they get hit by
Right,
the
okay. Okay, so
Yeah.
Ilsa's pressed down the
Yep.
Good work.
detonator.
Oh dear.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Nigel.
Okay. So,
Oh, pretty realistic explosion damage
so ruptured
result.
tendon. We know that that's not fatal, but let's add that to you.
Oh no, my mobility.
Internal bleeding. This is less good. That one is fatal in 1d6 turns. And then a cracked skull. Ugh. And that one is fatal in 1d6 rounds. So roll a d6. So you got 3 rounds till you're dead from the artery. How many rounds till the skull gets you?
Oh, that was not a 6.
Okay.
It's a 1d5. I'll let you take the
I don't
5 if
know
you
how
want.
to it, but I'll take it. Yeah.
Okay, because the 3 is going to get you anyway. So you've got, and then you have internal bleeding. Roll another d6. You have 3 critical wounds. Oh man.
Oh,
So 5. So it's
well.
still going to be 3. So you got 3 rounds. All right, let's go to Freya. So Freya, you take 2 wounds, and you are. So did you take 1 that made you broken?
Yeah.
And
So
then-
I had wounded and broken left, so I checked both of them.
So now you're just broke. So you just get 1 critical injury
Mhm.
because you became physically broken.
Yes. It's gonna be like coma. Oh Jesus.
No. Oh, your hat's never gonna fit right again.
Yeah.
All right, so roll a 1d6. This is how many rounds until you expire.
Feels pretty fatal. What was it? Slash.
A /R space 1d6.
Do we get Lisa? What happens to Lisa in this case? I didn't think of that.
Oh, 2 rounds.
2 rounds. You've got Lisa with you. She's already broken. She takes a few, little cuts and scrapes and bumps here, unless you want her to die. You want her to
No,
perish in the
he would have been holding her in front of him.
Okay.
He tried to shield her, yeah.
You shield the blast with your arteries, apparently.
Exactly. It makes
Oh, he's just had an aneurysm. I'm carrying her.
So as you come to after the blinding flash, and actually, Ilsa, did you set off the detonator, or did it just go off on its own?
Well,
Had you pushed it down?
I would probably wait for them to like be visible, so I guess it went off
So
on its
it
own.
went off on its own. You were surprised as the blinding green flash comes out of the mine and a huge plume of smoke, and then you see Montgomery's hat come billowing out.
Oh man.
The explosion has triggered a chain reaction deep inside the mine. Like an angry beast, the earthquake begins to swallow everything in the area. Explosions can be heard as factories and power plants get sucked into the depths as the ground around you begins to collapse and crumble. Eventually, the entire research center will collapse. Everyone who is evacuating can hear the disaster as they continue their panicked attempt to get as far away as possible. Meanwhile, the sun is climbing higher and higher as morning is arriving, and as the survivors finally stop to catch their breath, the whole sky lights up in a green flash brighter than the sun. Eventually, the sound and the pressure wave hits you all as the Laponian gate slams shut. Whatever was coming through has been forced out by the explosion, and it did not get the heart because the heart exploded. Now, Freya has got 2 rounds to live. Nigel has got 3 rounds to live. Montgomery, you are not fatally injured, so we need to get some healing done, and Freya only gets 2 chances, and Nigel gets 3 chances to try to survive. Otherwise, that's it. So to treat a critical injury, if it's physical, it's a medicine roll, and every extra success will heal a condition. So that's to treat someone that is broken, or to, and with a critical injury, if you're treated by medicine before the time limit expires, you cease to be broken, and any extra successes heal additional conditions. And so we need to get some medicine rolls. You guys are kind of buried under some debris. This is going to be the 3 of you that are together. You're going to be the ones that get to do this. Meanwhile, I'm sure Dagmar and Freya are frantically trying to dig you out.
We are trying so hard to get them out.
Yeah.
And
got
Blix
my
goes
talents
over
for
and is
healing.
standing near a little pile of dirt and frantically digging, trying to get
Digging,
to
yes. I'm
someone
like,
in there.
dig, dig, dig. I always do that with my dogs. Dig, dig, dig.
So you guys you're in a small pocket. There's some large stones kind of piled up and some dirt. You can't quite see daylight, but you can feel one another, and you're all slick with blood and sweat and grime. Freya, your forehead is caved in, and Nigel and Montgomery, you probably reach over and can feel that wound, and you know that if she's not treated, it will prove fatal. So I need one of you to make a medicine roll on Freya.
I think with all the conditions, I think his medicine would be 0.
I think you always roll 1 dice. So you'd have a 1 in 6 chance.
You have a talent there, Nigel, for healing?
I don't think he does.
I think he
He
took
can-
the mental one.
He's got the Lord Shepherd, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Montgomery, can you try to heal one of these? Does anyone have medicine?
Well, I think I also
Nigel's
have
good at medicine. He's
only
just
1
really
dice.
badly injured. Yeah.
Can I
Unless
use
you
the
or-
memento at all to try to clear conditions, or no?
So that takes like 10 or 15 minutes. So you wouldn't have time.
Got it.
Let me have Montgomery make a roll. It should still let you roll 1 dice. Who are you going to try to use your medicine on? On Nigel or Freya?
Well, who would Montgomery have been closest to?
Probably Nigel. I'm sure he was just behind you because he was kind of helping you. He's probably pushing you along.
Well, I will attempt to heal Nigel first.
Give me that medicine roll.
Well, Nigel, don't worry. It's not as bad as it looks. I've seen much worse. You might have to lose the leg, but you'll be all right.
Oh, nothing a tourniquet can't fix, but
Do you push it and take another condition?
I can't. I don't have any conditions to take.
Oh, true. You're broken. Nigel, you can attempt to roll on Freya.
okay.
Or on yourself. You can try to heal yourself. Freya, you can attempt to roll on yourself or on Nigel.
Well, I'll die one turn faster, so let me try myself real quick. Oh my god.
Okay. Dagmar, roll a 1d4 to see how many rounds it's going to take for you guys to reach the pocket. 2.
Does that count the one we just had?
Yeah, so
Okay.
the problem is when you get there, that will be
I'll be
Too
dead.
late.
will be Freya's
Freya.
end.
That's okay.
No.
As you're moving rocks and digging through, tears moistening your face, Blix is digging with all his might. Crust is probably off somewhere licking himself. You're pulling at rocks, and then it begins to collapse beneath you, and Blix runs into this cavity and begins to pull at someone. And Freya, you see this little bit of light and this furry dog as it runs up to you and begins to lick your face and grab at your clothes and try to pull you towards the opening. And as you begin to get drug out, the last thing you see is dear little Blix as he's frantically trying to bring you to freedom. Why don't you narrate for us your final moments?
Yeah, so I think she's kind of like, I feel like the light that's like hitting her face is like comforting. You know, like it's kind of like the sun, like when you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh. And I think she kind of feels like Blix pulling her, and like truly feels like, you know, she feels loved, I think, in her final moments. And her backstory was that her partner was killed by giants, and that's how she got the sight. So I think,
Wow.
yeah, right. I think in her final moment, she doesn't like feel fear. She feels love, and her partner kind of extends their hand to her, and she takes it.
And you feel, as they pull that hand, you feel your spirit slipping out of your body, like removing a glove from a hand, and your spirit goes with your partner as they take you to a far, far better place. And your body just lays lifeless in that opening. Dagmar and Ilsa, there is not enough time to mourn because there are still 2 people buried in there. So as you extract her, you've got a round. Each of you can get in and try to save Nigel. It'll mean crawling on your hands and feet into this dark, dank hole that's slick with blood and sweat and Montgomery's tea service. Who's the first in there to try to help Nigel?
I think I would rush in because
You took a medicine advantage, right?
No, I took close combat.
Oh, but you have a new skill or something, a talent?
I don't
even know
so.
what I'm talking about.
I don't think so.
Me, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's right. It was Dagmar.
But I feel like Ilsa partly thinks that the explosion was her fault because
Right, even though you know you didn't push it,
Yeah.
but it went off and you were holding the detonator.
Yeah, so I think I would try my hardest to save my friends.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so Nigel, you are no longer broken. That is going to get rid of the. Oh man, you have 3. Okay. All right. Let's hold off on that. So Dagmar, it's your turn. Can you help Nigel? And then Montgomery, you can spend one more action on Nigel, and Nigel, you can spend an action on yourself. You have 3 things that will kill you. One of them has been healed.
I can certainly try to heal Nigel. I'm going to use my battle experience skill, which gives me a +2.
2 successes would be grand. Ooh.
Oh, Breaker, I actually don't have any physical conditions at the moment, so I'm definitely going to try again.
Nice.
Come on, dice.
Come on, Dicey's.
No.
Now,
No.
for some reason,
Again.
it rolled fewer dice. It only rolled 5.
Ah.
Roll a d6.
Well,
for me.
because I'm now exhausted, right? Or does that come after?
Oh, okay. I know. So, are you then just re-rolling, or are you clicking the push button?
I'm not reroll. I'm not pushing. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So yeah, if you click the push, it
Can I
doesn't
push?
count it. But if you want to
Okay.
roll a 1d6, just in case you get a 6 here.
Gosh, 6. Can you try again? Oh, did you see how close it came? Can you use more conditions and push again?
No, you can only push once. Montgomery, you lean over to your friend, speak an encouraging word, tell him, Nigel, tea would hit the spot right now. My throat's a bit parched. See if you can do a medicine roll. I know you only get 1 die, but...
Well, could I try a manipulation roll to see if I could encourage Nigel to live for another round, that he might get another a few medicine rolls?
Sheer force of will through manipulation.
Or I can do it could be an inspiration. Perhaps I can try and inspire Nigel.
If you could get 2 successes, you'll buy him an extra round.
Well, Nigel, you can't go out yet, old chap. I will never see old England again.
You gonna push
Damn.
it?
Oh.
Ugh.
Oh, no.
The dice want the story.
Nigel,
Mhm.
can you heal yourself?
We could give it. Well, he's got 1 die.
Oh.
Hey, but
Supposed to go
what
there.
if you get it?
Oof.
Nigel, what takes you out? Is it the burst artery, the internal bleeding, or the cracked skull?
Oh my god.
Well, one of them got healed.
Yeah, which one got healed?
Yeah, well, that's I think Ilsa should say. I don't know. Nigel's probably bleeding quite a lot. A tourniquet might help. But internal bleeding, he wouldn't really know about.
Yeah, probably the burst artery. I think would be easier to heal. And so maybe you put your hand on a wound that you can see, but there's a wound that you don't see, and you don't know that his skull is cracked. And so with your hand on him, and as Montgomery says, Nigel, get up. We've got to get out of here. And Dagmar is trying to look and see what she can do, but she can't see the wounds either.
Can hardly see. She's crying so much.
Nigel, I'll let you narrate your exit.
Yeah, I think Nigel, Ilsa was the first to reach him, so I think he reaches for her and he says, "You did well with that detonator, girl. I'm proud of you. Do not blame yourself."
And then you look over and you see Montgomery, and he's looking at you. And is there a tear in Montgomery's eye? He has seen death on the battlefield. I think he recognizes it. Or are you a stiff upper lip, Montgomery?
No, there's a single tear as he sings God Save the Queen.
Oh, yeah, you begin to sing God Saves the Queen down in here to Nigel with your hand over his chest. And then you look up at Montgomery. Do you have any words for him? You say, "I've always hated your breath, sir," or something like that.
Oh, my lord, yeah, I'm sorry. You'll never find one servant so loyal as me.
And then you look over at Dagmar, and do you have words for Dagmar?
Yeah, I think he would like to, he would try to, shove his gun towards her and say, I'm sorry I never really got to teach you. You should learn. It would help with your dangers.
She takes it in shaking hands and wipes her face and says, Nigel, you were my friend. I'm so sorry I couldn't help you. I will get better at medicine, I promise.
And Nigel, you realize it doesn't hurt anymore. And you feel very warm. And the delicate baritone of Montgomery's voice echoing in this chamber is enough to send you to the afterlife with the knowledge that you have done a great thing here. And you look down at the body of Lisa Johansson as it stirs as she regains consciousness, and you know that your selfless sacrifice likely bought her years of life. And your eyes flutter a few times, and you exhale one final breath, and then it grows still. And then the scene will fade to black. The aftermath. In the immediate aftermath of yet another catastrophe at the Abisko mine, the whole region is declared a national park, and no one is able to exploit the area again. Some will say the area is cursed, others will say that it was nature's way of saying enough is enough. No more green stones are ever found, and some suggest it was all just a hoax to begin with, as both Carl and Sigrid perished in the accident. Whatever remains of Svea Mining Corp soon collapses under an avalanche of lawsuits. Uppsala University makes a statement claiming it was deceived. Eventually the details of it are all conveniently forgotten, simply remembered as one of the many mining accidents that are unfortunately common, but not very newsworthy. 1 year from now, Ilsa, where are you and what have you been doing?
Well, I think after that whole thing happened, I think Ilsa would have left the society, and she would have left civilization altogether, and now she's living in some secluded area in the wilderness or something. Her backstory was that she was once in a cult that performed living sacrifices, and she escaped from the cult, but they were still searching for her. So I feel like she, after having all these bad experiences about being in a part of groups that, you know, she thought she was welcomed in and thought that she had a place in, and after those experiences ended badly both times, she would have just believed that she was better being on her own. So she left with crust, and that's where she is now.
And where is Dagmar?
I think Dagmar remembers what she said to Nigel the last, and she has gone to Franzibal's partner Bjorn, who was so kind to her before the ball, and he has sponsored her to go to school and get an education, and she has her eye on becoming a doctor. Ooh. So that she can help the members of the society far better, and she's a well-known figure around the university with Blix at her heels.
And Montgomery, where are you?
Well, 1 year from that adventure, Montgomery sits down for his a cup of tea served by Teat, his replacement servant. Nowhere near as good as Nigel, but he shall suffice for the time being. Perhaps he can be trained. He had Nigel buried in his family mausoleum, and a statue of Freya built in Uppsala. He donated a sizable fund. And he's now back in good old England, and he's campaigning for a position in government, perhaps for a prime minister. And you see he has bandages on his wounds, still healing from a year back, but it's helped him in his campaign so far.
Excellent. And thus ends the Lost Mountain Saga. I want to thank you guys for playing. That is not how I saw that ending, but wow, that was impressive. For those that survived, let's quickly do some experience, and then we can see if any of your injuries have become permanent, and then let's talk a little bit about the campaign, and if you guys have a second here. So let me find the page. Here we are. So 4 experience points. Did you participate? Did you confront a Vaesen? Oh yeah. Did you identify a previously unknown Vaesen? Yep, the Titan. Were you affected by your dark secret? I'll let you decide that. Did you take risks to protect other people? Everybody did. Have you learned anything? Yeah, you learned about that it is the heart of a Vaesen. Did you develop something in your headquarters? We did last time. We got the medical staff. And did you perform an extraordinary action? And I think none greater were performed than that by Nigel to pick up Lisa and bring him out, but Nigel unfortunately did not survive. I think some other extraordinary actions were talking down Lisa, which I think was Ilsa and Dagmar that did that. And Montgomery, I think using trying to manipulate, using your words to try to buy time for Nigel, I think that was a really cool move, and I think that was very extraordinary. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus you get an additional one because of the annals of the society that Tina has been keeping an awesome record in the journal. So if you guys want to do some upgrades, we also need to see if any of your conditions are permanent. So let's see, I need boy, you got a lot of conditions, Dagmar.
Yeah, I got 3.
Yeah.
I don't think I got any new ones this
No.
time though,
Yeah,
so
they're
they're all
still
firmly
all the
set.
old permanent ones. Let's look
Yeah.
at Ilsa. Did you take a condition? Yeah, you were broke. Oh, you took a mental condition or a mental critical. Oh yeah, you're frozen facial muscles. So you can do a mental recovery. If you go to the main tab, down where it says conditions, next to mental, there's a cube. Click on the cube. You need 1 success on that to have that not be a issue. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Let me edit that. So that is healed. In fact, I can just do this. Let's take it off there. And then last is Montgomery, and I know you had some injuries. Let's take a look here.
Well, considering that my agility is a 0, they can't really get much worse.
So you had a bleeding wound. You need to make that physical recovery roll to see if you can recover from that bleeding wound. Otherwise, you will have a permanent agility penalty.
So what do I roll?
So on the main tab at the bottom where it says conditions and physical, there will be a picture of a cube, and you click on that cube, and it will roll your physique and precision at the same time. And no. So that is a permanent impairment. So you have a limp now. In fact, maybe you lost some toes. They had to amputate a few toes here. That was your. Let's see. You had a crushing. Let's see, injury, a ruptured tendon. Let's see. Oh, I need to mark that as healed. That was healed, but it is permanent. And then your crushing injury that affects your ranged combat, so maybe your hand got crushed. That will become permanent. That was healed, but a permanent injury. And then you also had a ruptured tendon. Boy, yeah, you took a beating.
Well, that may have affected his agility, but it makes his speeches much more exciting.
Yes, you've now got stories that you can tell. So if you've got experience, you can spend it on talents, you can spend it on skills. It's 5 points to improve a talent, 5 points to improve a skill. You can also heal all your damage as though you're starting from fresh. And then let's go ahead and I'm going to stop this recording, and then let's start a... well, actually, unless you guys know what you want to take, talent-wise or skill-wise.
I took 2 increases in medicine. So
Excellent.
if she comes back to play, she will be doing so as a doctor.
Excellent. And what
Yes.
about Ilsa? What did you take?
I took an increase in agility and another one in stealth.
Nice. And Montgomery, what about you?
He took a improvement in inspiration, and then I'm still looking for his second one.
Okay. You cannot improve your manipulation. 5 is as high as it can go. But you could, yeah, you could focus more on like the mental prowess. But I'll let you go ahead and figure that out. I'm going to go ahead and end the video, and then let's do just a quick little kind of recap what we liked about the campaign and whatnot. So we'll be back.